Bye-bye. Thank you to our friend on 14.313 megahertz for this song. Not done yet. Working on it. Sounds like a good song for my finals today. All right. How's it going, everybody? All right. Right in there. There we go. Okay. Thank you so much for watching the after chat. Again, I'm keying out like crazy. Look at that. I'm like a scanner darkly with what's going on here. Hopefully you enjoyed whatever the heck that was on the last video. But let's go ahead and pull those finals and also answer a ton of ham radio questions and help some people out. Because that's really what we're here for on the after chat. Our goal is to help people out with their ham radio questions. So it doesn't matter what your question is. It's welcome here. That's the point of us doing this. We want to give everyone a chance if they are stuck on a Baofeng question, any sort of ham radio question. Happy to help. And I'm surrounded by a bunch of cool people on the Discord. Consider joining us on the Discord. The link is in the description so you can ask your question directly because there's always a follow-up question. There's always follow-up questions. And text chat can just take too long. If you join us on the after chat, it's really simple. Scroll down to hashtag live-chat. That is the text chat. And if you go 2 down from that, there is a speaker that says live-chat. That's the voice chat. If you don't have your speakers and mic set up, that's okay. You don't have to join that. But if you are interested in that, hop in your settings for Discord and set a mic and speaker. And you should be good to go. All right. Let's hop over to the Discord. Let's see who is in the house today. Shall we?
20. And I normally run ham sticks on top of my van.
Hello.
And I get all over. Hey, Josh.
How's it going, everybody? All right. So hello, Discord. Had a little bit of fun today on the live stream.
Until it all went up in smoke.
Well, no smoke, no heat, no smell. So, all right. I don't know what we blew up, but something's not happy.
I mean, here in Texas, we like our smoke. We like our smoke where we don't see it. I mean, it flavors our food pretty good. Can't say it's good for your BitX though.
Yeah, you want it wispy and light, right? There's no wisp, there's no hint of smoke. So, but anyway, we smoked it. So I think I'm gonna start things off. As always, we're gonna start things off by welcoming people who are here for the first time. I'd like to say hi to you, and if you have a question, boy howdy, we want to help you. So if there's anybody here in the Discord right now in the voice chat who's here for the first time and like to say hi or ask a question, come forward and we'll help you out. We just have the regulars in here.
This is not the first time I've been here, but this is the first time I've talked. Sorry, I have a very fluid voice at the moment.
ZL1TC, how's it going, man? Thanks for joining us. Was that you or was it somebody else?
That was ZL1TC, yeah. Sorry.
Hey, thanks for joining us, man. Did you have a question or you just joined the fun tonight?
Just joined the fun, just enjoying the moments before disaster.
Right on, man. I hear you. All right, anybody else in there that's here for the first time that'd like to say hi or ask a question, come now.
I'll go ahead and say hi. I haven't been in one of your chats yet. I've been hanging out on the Discord, enjoying all the info and help with radio stuff.
Oh, right on. Well, thanks for joining us. That's CN. Where'd you go?
82, I believe, if I remember
Kyle,
correctly.
CN82. Gotcha. How's it going, man? Thanks for joining us. All right. Anybody else in there had a question or joining us for the first time or had a question? Come now.
Yeah, Whiskey 4, Whiskey. Good evening, and thanks for the lovely entertainment this evening.
Right on, man. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. How you doing? Any questions?
Nothing for the peanut gallery. Just kind of here and try to see what the place is like.
Oh, right on. Yeah, check the place out. We appreciate that. All right, cool. Anybody else in there? First time, like to say hi or ask a question? Come now.
Hey guys, greetings from Brazil.
Hey, right on. We got a DX contact. Welcome. How you doing?
Good. I am a new ham here in Brazil. I am an hour from São Paulo. and just got into the 10 meters band, which is the most practical band for me in a balcony.
Mm-hmm.
So just making my first contacts, and I'm seeing that at in the evenings there is not a lot of movement. I don't know if it's propagation, but usually Saturdays in the afternoons there's a lot of movement. But in the evenings, I don't know if it's the bands that's closed or some local interference. I don't know, but good to be here, watching your videos all the time. Thanks.
Hey, thank you. And, I found that South America, a lot of 10-meter usage. I can point my beam south, and I'll generally find folks in South America on the higher frequency band, so anywhere from 15 meters and higher to 10. You can always find someone in South America that's available. So yeah, I think that's a real thing. And as we get closer to 2025, there's going to be a lot more context there.
I love how on AliExpress, every review of like really, really sketchy amplifiers, they all have 5-star reviews from specifically Brazil.
So it's very interesting that here I have my first. It's similar to your tech level. Here is class C. I'm limited to 10 meters and 80 meters. So on the 80 meters, I see a lot of local Brazilian states, people talking more locally. But when I go to 10 meters, I hear Spanish all the time. I hear English sometimes. I hear people from Bulgaria the other day. So I don't know why, but since the 10 meters, it seems a lot more interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Wait till you see 40 meters, but whole another world.
Yeah, 10 meters is really good at the high cycle, right? So I don't want to take anything away from that. It's going to be really, like, every day we get closer to 2025, all the high bands are just going to be on fire late into the evening. Like what we're seeing with 20 being really good far into the evening, like right now, we're going to see that with a lot of the higher bands, which is really cool. That's a lot of fun. So let's see. There's a question. Nobody in particular wants to ask a question about the true SDX. So go ahead. That's in the text chat. By the way, if you just want, by the way, you don't have to ask a question. Just say like question and then what your question is if you're on the YouTube side. I would appreciate if you join us on the Discord, but if you don't want to, that's okay too. No pressure.
He's typing in Discord, so.
Discord, wherever, but get onto voice chat if you can. Fill the room out here and let's have a little bit of fun talking to people.
Hey Josh, did you say you're using the Pi 3 with the sBitx?
I am, yeah.
Do you have a Pi 4 maybe? Like to test it?
Is it the 3B2 by chance, or is it just the 3? Just curious.
It's a 3B, and so I think to PogChamp's question, well, hold on.
I heard you were having audio issues, and honestly, I feel like the upgraded CPU and the 4 might solve that.
I don't think so, because I specifically always had the CPU meter on the screen, and I definitely wasn't pegging it. The only time I pegged it, it was when I was running the sBitx software, had FL-Digi in the background, and started WSJTX. When I did that, then it was too much for that processor. But yeah,
I was about to say too. There's a Facebook group for the sBitx, and people had plenty of success with 3Bs and 3B2s.
Oh yeah. I don't think that there's any weakness in the 3B for this at all. I think it's totally acceptable. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else here for the first time like to say hi or ask a question? Come now.
Yeah. Nobody in particular is asking about digital or the Olivia and those kinds of things on the true SDX.
So my understanding, and I'm not completely positive on any of this right now, and some of this might have came out at the end of the live stream had I not blown it up. And I mentioned it though up front. The sBitx software is kind of pushing audio to FL-Digi to do the processing, and then it's fed back into the sBitx software. So if you wanted to part out the radio, if you will, to another piece of software to use it, you use the net control hamlib option in a lot of different radio control software, and you provide the IP address. Since it's all internal to the device, it would be loopback, so it'd be 127.0.0.1. For Olivia, there's no explicit mode for it, so you'd have to part that out to FL-Digi.
Well, FL-Digi has the Olivia decoder and encoder.
Oh, absolutely.
The software,
and you can't run all that. It's just that you will have to then so okay. Dawn and other people will likely get this. When you get on a Raspberry Pi or any kind of computer, you generally have to tell the device like what kind of radio it is, whatever it is that's controlling it, whether it's FL-Digi, FL-Rig, WSJTX, JSA call, or whatever. A lot of the rig handling, if you will, is getting done by the sBitx application. So I don't know the explicit type of radio that it is that is connecting to the Raspberry Pi. And I'm guessing that they're extending connection to the radio via the GPIO pins, because that's how you plug it into the device. So they're using something direct pin out from the sBitx software on the Linux Raspberry Pi into, you know, the control software. And then that control software, you can set it to digital. And then when you're in digital, you tell the software to use 127.0.0.1 to loop back in, to use the internal device off the OSI stack to get connection to the actual radio via the internal software. So it's a bit of a handshake job internal of the device, but yeah. All right, I see a question from nobody in particular. He says, I can't seem to enable PTT. He's talking about Discord. By the way, if you join us on Discord, don't worry, hang out. The reason why there's a timeout on being able to use PTT is because we get bot raids. So we generally have a little bit of a timeout. I think it's like 5 minutes. So don't worry, just hang out. What considerations go into... where's the question? Sorry. But I'm asking about the TrueSDX and can it handle long transmit time digital modes? Yeah, it can. I'm assuming long transmit time digital modes. So again, everybody, please specify clearly what you mean. Don't just give me long transmit time digital modes. If you're saying FT8 or full, what am I thinking of? Not full.
RTL or something.
Full duty cycle. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're talking full duty cycle, just explain what you mean by that, and then.
Yeah, earlier he was asking specifically about Olivia. And so he was the one. Yeah, he was the one asking about Olivia, and I know that like I've run WSJTX and the TrueSDX, and so it has cat control and audio goes in through the mic, and the PTT goes in through PTT.
Right.
So you can do that, and basically you'd have to set FL-Digi up and do it. What I have done is I turn my power down on my TrueSDX to like 1 watt or 2 watts. I would not go more than that.
Yeah, don't.
He's worrying about burning it up.
Don't try to explore the space on how far you can go. Generally, drop it down. Yeah, particularly if it's full duty cycle.
Yeah, one of the questions I'd ask you on and you may not know this yet, especially since you just blew your finals again, but because I'm concerned on this radio, like the sBitx.
Sure.
Okay, if I'm running digital modes, what, half power, so it's capable of 40 watts, go down to maybe 20 or 10 watts to be safe.
I would half it at least. Yeah, I would half it. Yeah, that would be my test.
Well, like the rule of thumb used to be, look what the AM output is and tune it to that.
Oh, that's that's a good point. Yeah, that's a real good point. But oddly enough, of course I'll take the blame for pushing the envelope because I did. But the radio is like, oh yeah, you want to go to 30 watts? Here we go. And I don't think I was holding down the key for that long, to be honest, on any one of those tests. But I don't know. You guys tell me. Should I feel bad? I don't feel that bad. I only feel bad that I didn't get more stuff out of the way first before I blew it up.
Yeah, no, I don't know that you could have known that, hey, I'm suddenly getting 100 watts out of it. It's like, well, maybe that's because of the new regulator. You have no way of knowing. So, yeah.
Yeah, and again, I can't say this enough. It's definitely not for everybody. If you want a 7300 to go live in your shack and to have it start up every morning and you rag chew on it, this radio is probably not for you. If you're a tinkerer, though, that somebody likes, playing around with radios, this is a fine radio. This is great. You can do all kinds of fun stuff. I can VNC into this thing when it's working. I can VNC into it, and I can desktop control it. I can do all kinds of fun stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
Gosh,
yeah, go ahead.
never feel bad about blowing up your own radio.
Okay, well, I blew it up on a live stream, though. Blow up a radio on a live stream. See how you feel.
No, but Josh, you bring up a good point in that a lot of commercial radios, they're actually detuned, and they put themselves on rails so much so that a user can't blow up their finals unless they're actually doing something absolutely horrible, like not hooking up an antenna to the RF port. Something that I found with a lot of these open source projects is that they don't have those training wheels. So you can crank the screws on it to 11, and oops, there it goes.
Yeah, and again, we just pushed it to the point of the power output, and I was only keying down for a couple of seconds just to get a power reading and an amp draw. It was drawing like 5 amps though, which doesn't really seem that solid. Safe, if you will, for 100 watts output. That's way high than, like, if you consider an 891, that's going to draw way more power to get to 100 watts. So that should have been for me to say, hey, you got to pull this back a little bit. You're running this way too hot. At the same time, the heat sink's not that hot, so it wasn't a thermal thing. It was just an overvoltage problem. That was my fault for letting the radio let me do the things that I did. I shouldn't have done that.
The amps go down, the volts go up, right?
What's that? If the amps go down, the voltage got to go up? Right. Yep. And it did. Probably overvolted the crap out of them.
Yeah, again, when you were doing the amperage testing, it only showed 5 amps at 13.8, but the watt meter showed whatever it was, 50, 60, 90 watts. Does that watt meter account for whether you're doing like a very narrow signal, like if you're just doing a constant tone on like CW, or is that like a full wide, like a 3K single sideband, like taking the whole my mind is blanking on me, but yeah, you guys probably know what I'm asking about.
So I was using a straight key to do CW, which is full duty cycle, right? That's kind of the point.
But at like 50 hertz, that's going to be less of a power draw than doing a 3K, doing a 50 hertz signal at 50 watts versus a 3K signal at 50 watts. You're going to draw a lot less power on that 50 hertz on just doing the straight key.
I guess I don't understand your question. What are you trying to ask?
The 5 amps at 13.8 might actually be correct if you're just holding the key down.
Yeah,
because
you're only
transmitting 50.
No, the output though was like 60 plus watts output. The meter was showing 60 watts output at the lowest bands.
It's not
way
the
high.
External voltage. We're talking about the internal. So if he's putting out 100 watts but only drawing 5 amps, the voltage on the transistors shot way up.
Way up.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you have to take that strap off first?
Oh, you're right. That's why I did the front.
Don, do you have one of those?
It just came yesterday, and so I just took it out of the box before Josh did the stream because I spent all day yesterday getting ready for the POTA thing today. So I mean, mine is the kit like his, and I've got a whole stack of Raspberry Pi 4s in the back. I'm just going to grab one of those, and I've got a screen that I've had in the box for a year and a half. So I figured, well, I'll get one because I don't have an Apache Labs on, and so if anybody knows where I can.
Does that screen use the DSI port?
It uses the ribbon cable on the
ribbon cable?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay. Would like any other display that uses that ribbon cable work just fine? Like obviously the size would be kind of off.
I have no idea. I have no idea. But you're gonna have to test that question, or ask in the groups.io. That may be a good question for them.
I already have a Pi and I already have a good display, and I don't feel like spending that much. So that's why I was wondering, honestly.
Well, what size is your display?
It's a 5-inch, but it's like edge to edge.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That I've got one of those mini. It looks like a laptop that's made out of a Pi, and it has a smaller touch screen on it, but it connects the same way these 7-inchers do.
Also, at the same time, I got to say the Raspberry Pi screens are pretty garbage. Like they're really low resolution.
I have the one that was supposed to go with the Radio Berry, and that one's super sharp, super nice. It's all IPS and everything.
So I mean, even at the end of the day, if you wanted to forgo the screen and just do like Raspberry Pi 4 with higher resolution headless and just do it over network or Wi-Fi, you could totally do that.
Does it work like a Pluto or? Does it? Will it support transmit too, or just listening then?
You're still gonna have to use all the controls on the body of the radio. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you just pretty much just be like SSH'd into it for a display.
Oh yeah.
Right, you'd just be SSHing or VNCing into the Raspberry Pi. That's all. Okay, there's the
that already just mini HDMI to HDMI and plug it into your flat screen TV. Have the world's largest waterfall.
All right, so now we can take the screen and rotate it back into place. So then hypothetically, this should all just, I'm going to throw a couple screws in here just to reduce the strain on the screen. Screen's kind of heavy, actually.
Josh, have you seen those, that Nreal Air, those glasses?
No, what is that?
So, like, they look like glasses, only they project a screen in front of you, and you can buy a separate little dongle to like make it wireless. So you can plug them into like your phone or computer or whatever, and then
it's like augmented reality.
Yeah, it like augments like a 40-inch or so, maybe a little bit bigger display in front of you. But it's like a 1080p-ish type display. It's not like low quality kind of junk.
Right. All right, so Hot Boy. So we can take the finals here. Doing a final.
And you said those were cheap. Where are you getting them at?
Those are in the parts kit that. So I didn't have spare finals like you got, Don.
No, I know that, but you said they were easy to get. Where would you be getting them from?
I'm not easy to. Well, okay, easy is subjective. Like if you get them off a DigiKey or whatever, they're not very expensive.
Or if you have like old battery chargers, a lot of them use that same transistor.
What kind of battery chargers?
Like lead acid, or like the smart lead acid chargers, not like the stupid ones.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so hypothetically, we've taken the finals out, so we're gonna find. Hold on. So hypothetically, people ask me if the. Let me get some crosstalk in there. So we got people asking me if the Raspberry Pi is dead. So this is how we test it. is let's put the back plane back on here. So we took the finals out, and again, for those that kind of don't know what happened, the last time when I had this problem with the finals dying, which was during the tune-up process. Who's got the hot mic? Can you mute, please? The radio, what happens when they fail is that they kind of like short to ground. So you have a really just it's a hot short, and that's why all the batteries and your power supplies and all that freak out, because it's literally all the finals have just clamped down hard, and that's why you can't really run any power to the Raspberry Pi or test anything, because it's literally dead and gone. So now, hypothetically, let me attach the speaker, because we will actually use this. Well, let's attach the power leads too. Now, obviously, we can't transmit, so we're not going to hook anything up to this thing.
I mean, really, honestly, you could use any N-channel MOSFET that's rated the same.
Well, yeah, but I'm going to have to go hunt around for something. Throw a couple screws in here and see if this thing powers up.
So who's going to get the first 710?
Dawn?
No.
You know, well, you got it. Yeah, you got the FTDX 10. Yeah, which is really good.
you've seen the differences in them, right?
In person, not yet.
Right, in person, but you've seen what the difference between the FTDX 10 and the 710 is.
Yeah, it doesn't have the discrete RF components like the FTDX 10 does.
Yeah, it's more of a pure SDR than a hybrid.
It's a 7300. That's
Mm-hmm.
let's call it what it is, right? It's literally a 7300. So hypothetically, if this is not completely borked, we should see some action here.
So nobody's going to trade their FTDX 10 for the 710?
No, probably not.
Now, I'd be interested if you could buy the speaker separately and hang it off the FTDX 10. If it would make the FTDX 10, sound like this AESS thing that they're bragging about. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if that's really true.
That's just an acoustically tuned speaker.
Yeah, but if it works on the FTDX 10, I mean, would it work on the FTDX 10 or the 101MP also?
No. It might work with both. I don't know. So
make noise.
I'll give you a bit of inside baseball. I've heard the speaker's fantastic. I've heard a lot of people are very happy with the speaker. I've heard only good things. Let me just say that. Only good things. That's all I'll say. So everybody that was curious, the Pi is good. It's sitting on the windowsill. It's cooling off. Grandma just pulled it out of the oven. The raspberry.
I wonder if it's both FETs that have blown up.
So that's what I'm wondering.
The same one each time, and maybe you got two good ones.
So that's actually what I'm thinking too. So how do we test that my MOSFETs here to make sure they're usable or not usable?
Do you have the little cheapo transistor tester thing?
I got a bunch of digital meters.
Or that. I mean.
Well, Rob or Mike, do you know?
You could check them with an ohm meter just to see if they are physically shorted. That would show up on that, but you couldn't really read the junction properly unless they've got a proper meter HFE setting in there.
All right, so let's shut this bad boy down because we know this works at least. By the way, I'm very glad. Let me just say that switching voltage regulator Very good. I'm really glad that Ashar did that. That's every so like me. I have a under 100 model. My boy here. He sent freebies out to everybody to replace them from the discrete component to a switching device. Super cool that he did that. You know, there's probably not like a bunch. There might not be a lot of margin in him in this for him. So the fact that he's doing this, I just want to say a big shout out to Ashar. It's amazing that he is making such cool things like he does. The man is just a gift to amateur radio. The time that I got to spend with him at 4 Days in May was just 5 days May, 4 days May, 4 days May. I don't remember. Fit him. It's just amazing. Like he literally had just this not even a breadboard, but like a proto board radio that he made. And I was like, when did you start making this? He's like, oh, Saturday. So it was like 4 days that he went from concept to full radio, and he wanted to try and see if he could replace ferrites or toroids, as we call them, a toroid core, with just a 3D printed, same dimension, hollow air core. And so he built a whole radio around it, a functioning radio. It's like you're just like just a different level, just a completely different level. Amazing guy. And Ashar, if you're watching this, I'm sorry I blew up your radio with complete just abandonment, but I like it. You can put that on whatever you need to put it on. I like it.
And you showed 2 times now how easy it is to open it up and replace stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm a
wizard.
I'm a wizard at pulling things off of this thing now. It's very easy to work on, to be honest. It's very easy. So anyway.
I think that speaks volumes as to how reliable it'll be.
Yeah, it's all nice screws. Everything's Phillips. The screen, everything's long enough that you can kind of bend things out of the way. Because honestly, by the way, for again everybody who didn't watch the live stream yesterday, everybody's like, "Why don't you disconnect the screen? Disconnect the screen." Go work on some Game Boys. Go work on anything with a very tiny ribbon cable and very tiny plastic connectors. Once you make that connection, you don't want to have to remove that connection if you don't want to. And so this allows you to move things around strategically. So you don't have and you don't have to put big bends on that ribbon cable. That's what you want. So we'll check the finals in a second, because I probably got 2 good ones. And if I do, heck yeah, I'm gonna solder those things up. We're gonna try it again, baby. I won't blow them up this time, I promise. But let. Oh, I hope that it just failed to 1 and then shorted to ground and shut, because that makes sense. Both of them failing to ground or shorting to ground. Hopefully it didn't happen, but who knows? Anybody else in here who joined us while we've been ranting for the would like to say hi for the first time or ask a question? Come now.
Hey, what's 4 days in May? I've heard it like 10 times today.
It's so you know how we have Hamvention, right? So just down the street from Hamvention is another Hamfest, but it's all QRP radios. It's for home brewers. It's for QRP people. It is just like it's Adams people. You know what I mean? It's Adams people. It's Ashar Farhan's people. What's the guy from QRP Labs? He was there. 4 States QRP was there. QRP Me was there. And who else?
And this is
QRP
like...
guys. We're all there. Like all there at a hotel. Like in one hotel. We just got to talk with them. If you go back and look at my Hamvention videos that I put out this year, there's a ton of content that I made just at that show. It was the late night stuff when I caught up with them.
So it's during the Dayton or whatever it is now, Hamvention?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same time. It actually starts a couple of days early. Yeah, so Don in the YouTube side asked, Josh, do you use any thermal grease on the finals? No, and specifically, it's not called out. And if anything, the thermal spreader bar that was mentioned, or as I shown, said specifically, don't tighten it down. Don't give it a lot of tension or pressure on it. So no, that's not called upon. Hypothetically, though, you could use thermal paste, and it's probably not going to hurt. I don't know though. It's yeah. Anyway, let's. How do we test MOSFETs? Look for short to ground. I'm assuming that's what everybody. That's the consensus.
Just bring it up on screen and let Mike talk you through it.
All right.
You know how to check. You know how to check a transistor, Josh, with a voltmeter, like 2 diodes.
Where you
do that. If it is short, it'll just read dead short, or it'll read dead open.
Oh, so you can just use a use a continuity test,
like a transistor, but if it's short, it'll be like 1 ohm or something.
All right.
Or it'll be completely open circuit. You won't have any. If it is blown up, it'll be one state or the other.
I don't remember anymore. I haven't done it in a while. So let's
I must admit, it's a long time since I've done this. So if it is erroneous, I'm sorry.
No, I just haven't done it in a while, so I haven't had to. The last time I did it, I think, was when I was playing around with a Pixie. All right, so we have all my finals here. All of my finals. Like all of my children, these are all of my finals.
You got a description of the transistor would be handy as well.
Yeah, these are all
pin out, just so you know which is the gate and the source and such like.
Yeah, I can barely read these. Yeah, hold on. Let's pull that up. Like sands through the hourglass, these are all of my finals.
That was quick. Somebody put one in the chat.
Oh, cool. Oh yeah, Jody's the best. All right, so we got gate on pin 1, drain and source 2, 3. So how does that work out then? IT guy, Josh, you don't have the cheapo tester where you click in your component? That would be easier. I don't have the thing you're talking about. Let's see what they're talking about. I know you have to go about this like 2 ways. No, I don't. I mean, I've got the Harbor Freight over here. Doesn't it have that testing capability?
Yeah, that weird little circle thing.
No, I mean like just the Harbor Freight digital meter.
Yeah, I just mean like on the.
Oh yeah, the blue thing. Like, yeah. So okay, 2 and 3. Somebody said 2 and 3. Okay, we got continuity on 2 and 3. No continuity. Continuity. No continuity. Hey, Lars. Okay, so Lars Larson. None of you saw this, but he's very upset about Discord. I'm not asking for your phone. If Discord's asking you for your phone, you shouldn't really have to do that. We stopped having that on in a while. So if it's asking you for that, I apologize. That's out of our control. But we're not getting your phone number, and I don't know that Discord actually does anything with it, but I apologize for that. That's one of the downsides of having something where we don't get bot rated constantly, because there are some people out there who have great capability and use their capabilities to mess with people trying to answer ham radio questions. All right, so what's the good? The not short, right? The not continuity?
As far as I remember,
if they
not shorted,
the not shorted is what you want,
because there should be like there's still a diode across it, so you should,
no continuity should be good, right?
It should be not a short.
No, yeah. So I'm literally making it. It's like I'm making this video a second time. So everybody, all the ones on the far right there, should be no continuity. So let's see if it actually works. Why don't we do that? We could do that.
Go for it.
What the hell? All right. This is an interesting
Far right
after chat.
Republic.
Let's see. Okay, so let's take these guys out of here. You were the poor boys that were sacrificed. So press F. Press F to pay respects to the finals, everybody that's watching. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. We're going to put you over there. In fact, I'm actually going to take, hold on, I'm going to draw a marker on them. I don't want them showing up. Okay. Bye-bye.
You want to talk about trying to get scammed in ham radio? I have an interesting story.
You know what? Actually, after tonight, I would like to talk about that. Why not? All right, so we still have the soldering iron still hot, guys. So good news, soldering iron still hot. Did I throw some screws in here? I did. We may be back on the air with this thing. And there you go. There's your selling point on the radio. You saw me.
It's a very nice design case.
It's just a big square, and that's that's what's funny is like everybody's like, oh, Hallicrafters made the best kits. I mean, this is just a big ass square. That's what Hallicrafters and everybody else did, right?
Mm-hmm. And there's lots of room to get your hands inside there and stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
Really nice.
It's great. It's not portable. I don't think this is a portable radio per se, but I think it's I don't think it's bad for in the shack, and it's still a Raspberry Pi. Mm-hmm. So you could hypothetically use this for your SSTV radio or your digital radio. You can do all kinds of stuff with this.
Mm-hmm.
With the right coat of paint, it could stand in for a Heathkit or a Hallicrafters.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it, right?
Thinking this is like the Heathkit SB220 of
it's
new
like
modern kit radios.
It's the mini boy, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing, though, too. I mean, we're talking about how easy it is to work on, but I imagine that people are going to hack the crap out of this thing.
Oh yeah, why not? Okay, so we got.
Yeah, I hope
we got finals. I just made a rough shot on them. Okay, so we gotta solder suck them out here.
I mean, really, if you think about it, a lot of people bought the 6100 just simply for that reason, to hack it, and this thing is a much better hackable platform.
It's not as portable though. I understand that argument.
Mm-hmm. True.
I mean, the fact that it's still in stock, like, wonderful.
Well, you can get Raspberry Pis with it.
Yeah.
I literally ordered this on Sunday, and I had it on Friday. I was watching Jason's live stream where he was talking about his and how he had blown the finals. And he said, oh, and I got a second set of finals. I'm like, okay, well, if they're going to ship 2 sets of finals, I'll get one. So I ordered it, and it arrived on Friday. I mean, I'm really surprised. And like I said, the one that I got already had that part installed, and it came with an extra set of finals also. So I'm golden.
Yeah. Is he still shipping them from India direct via DHL like he did the microBitx?
Yep.
Hot damn.
It's. I mean, if you come right down to it, I paid $300 for the kit, and it's because I had the screen and the Raspberry Pi. But if you were looking to get a Raspberry Pi 4, it's a smoking deal. You get a monitor too with it. If you don't like the radio, who cares? You still get a decent monitor out of it, a screen that you could use with other Raspberry Pi projects.
Hey, do I get barred if this blows up again?
Well, if it blows up again, then we know the other ones are the good ones, right?
Turn it down first.
But by the way,
full power,
Josh,
that's it.
While you're soldering there,
mm-hmm.
If you get a chance, can you look on YouTube and see if Mike is blocked somehow because he can't chat?
Mike, who?
G0RFD.
What's going on now?
I type in the chat, nothing comes up. It doesn't come up in the chat engine.
Yeah, on YouTube. It may not have anything to do with. He says it's only your channel, but anyway, not now. We're not asking you to do it now. I don't think. I just,
okay. Mike, send me a DM really quick, just with your whatever your YouTube channel name is.
Josh doing those shadow bans like Callum.
No, it could
By
have
the
been
way,
any of it.
by the way, I will. There was actually somebody just right now that I hid from the channel. He called me an asshole. I just said, okay, I don't care. Bye bye. I have very little time for people that are just going to be jerks. Like, give me context, but don't just be a jerk. I would rather work with you on other things and comments. Explain why I'm a jerk. But yeah, give me something.
I've accidentally done it once when the porn bots were rolling through on one of the other channels.
Oh, I have done that before too.
And it was moving so fast, and I tried to click it, and I hit somebody else, and then I had to get somebody to fix it.
Yeah, no, I've definitely done that. So if I did that, by the way, if anybody believes that they could be banned on the YouTube and they can't comment, that's likely not because I did it intentionally, but also I'm a fairly light trigger with just blocking people because, no offense, I don't need to deal with toxicity in the amount of time I spend every day doing what I do to have people be super peanut gallery all the time. You know what I mean? And sometimes YouTube be like that.
You're just being belligerent.
Oh,
what's that?
Yeah, what?
I know Mike wasn't. I know Mike wasn't doing that, so it was probably an accident. If it's at all anything, but if it's only my channel, it's likely that he may be in there, and that's definitely not the way we want it to be. So we'll fix it. So you see that, guys? I just replaced the finals on this. We'll see if they're actually good finals, though.
I didn't
seeing the
script. Make a contact yet?
What's that?
I didn't catch the stream. Was it yesterday or the day before? Did you make a contact on this?
Oh yeah, I made a lot of I made FTA contacts. I made I hunted a bunch. I hunted like 3 POTA with it today. I did Route 66 on the air. Like, yeah, it works great. I butchered the boy. I just couldn't. So everybody that stuck around, you maybe get to see a functioning radio here that we'll make a video with. There we go. Okay, let's slide you so nicely, so cautiously, just over like that. There you go.
It just sunk into me just how chungus that heatsink is on the back of that radio.
Oh yeah,
just seeing the mounting screws on the back.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, a lot of times when you look at radios and even amplifiers, the weight of them is actually the heat sink. Like this Mercury 3 that I've got, the thing is light, but like when I was putting it together, the heaviest part in there is the heat sink that you set down into it. And once you do that, it goes from like a couple of pounds to 25 pounds. By the way, go ahead.
I was just going to say I had a quick question for off topic for Don or Josh, whoever.
Yeah, go ahead.
The little side handles for the 7300. Where's the best place to pick those up?
Oh, what's that guy's name? Those things
the
aren't
side
cheap.
handle.
Like
the side handles or the rails?
The rails. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, I just got some. Oh gosh, what's the name of that company?
They're not cheap.
Novexcom makes some out of Long Beach. Novexxcom. They're one company that do those things.
Novexcom, is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Josh, do you know what that big piece of copper is for?
I don't know. It's the flap.
It's an RF shield, basically.
Okay.
Oh, did I put it in wrong? Damn it, I did. I didn't look at the holes. Womp womp.
Hey, Josh or Don, have you guys gotten Wi-Fi to work on either of yours? Because on mine, I get this like ticking noise.
Yeah. No, I talked about that in the beginning of the stream. I do indeed get the ticking noise. Have you set the locale and your region for the Wi-Fi in the Raspberry Pi software?
I have.
And it's still ticking?
You know what? To be honest, I never really turned it back on because I didn't want to deal with it. I just want I was looking for a fix for it before I turned it back on, so I had to, you know, I tried messing with it before, it just didn't do anything. But yeah, I set my region, my call sign, and everything. So I guess I'll go back in there and take a look.
Yeah, you want to know what the easy answer is? Is that like once you've got your time synced, turn the Wi-Fi off. That's it.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
I think the hardest part about this whole thing is just getting the screws lined up.
Yeah, and that's the reason I keep asking about that shield. It's like you got to work around that shield too.
The instructions say just fold it down. If you looked at the installation instructions, you just fold it over.
Well, actually, I haven't looked at the instructions because mine came with all of that already done. So.
Hey, Don, I found an Anan for you.
Really? Where?
Yeah, our local radio shop's got a second-hand one.
Which model?
Hang on.
You stumped him.
Hang on, I'm looking. It's a Anan 100E.
Damn.
1,600 quid though. It's not cheap.
Yeah, but see, I don't know what they cost when they originally came out. They could have been close to 2,700 pounds when they first came out. I don't know. So, and they're just like, you just don't see them anywhere. I have not heard of one, and I do kind of really want one, but the only problem I have with buying one from like Europe is how are they done?
Yeah, how many cigarettes did they smoke around it?
Yeah, dang postage.
Well, yeah, I'm not really all that afraid of that. I've been tempted on a couple of occasions. I mean, the Martin Lynch and Sons had such a good deal on the Sun SDR. I mean, it was hundreds and hundreds of dollars less than we could get them in the U.S. And even considering the shipping, it would have been like we would have been saving hundreds of dollars. And of course, I already had mine at that time, but there were a couple of guys that were really considering about getting one from MLNS. But then the thing is, okay, now I've got it in the U.S. How do I get Region 2 unlocked rather than Region 1?
Right, we're almost
yeah,
there,
I think
guys.
you'd have to ring them up and like, boy, how do I sort this out?
Yeah, well, Anand's not being real responsive right now. There's a lot of guys with radios on order, including me, and they're not getting much response out of the guys from Australia. But there's some guys on the forums that are real good with the older radios, so that's the reason I was thinking, well, I get one of those, and I still think, basically the software is just the stupid Power SDR Thetis, and so it really doesn't matter as long as the radio is working.
All right. We could be back in business here. I'm going to throw a couple screws just to hold her together.
Yee.
If it toasts it, I'll have to send you send you a token or something.
You owe me nothing. Unless it's just a token of appreciation for burning something up, then
I'll have to okay. Subscribe or something as atonement,
Well, what I'll do is I'll unblock you and then I'll reblock you. How's that sound?
Don't.
You got to be careful. I'm running out of 805s to pour out.
All right, so how did we do here? Let's put the speaker in the boy. Another couple of screws, maybe. Wouldn't it be funny if this actually works? That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious.
Well, I think you got a good chance of it.
I think so too, actually, Don. You know,
I think it.
Go ahead. No, you're good.
Well, I was just going to say, I kind of think that they're right that it was the first final that went out, and the second one was just like hanging.
He was just along for the ride. He's like, "Yo, bro, they're going pretty hard on you today." He's like, "Yeah, man, I don't know. I think I can't hang on." Like, "Oh, dog, no." All right, so we got voltage here. We got 13.84. That'll get you where you're going. In this case, we're going straight to hell. My boys! I think it might have worked. Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
The pie came back.
If you see that rainbow screen, you're pretty much in business at that point.
Yeah.
I found. Oh, wait. Did we lose it? Nope, we got it. Oh, man. That's funny. Hold on. I'll get you focused. There you go. There you go. All right, let's get that.
Turn it down.
All right, relax, Josh. Everybody calm down. Hold on. So we're back on the, we're still, let me see if we're on the, yeah, all right. We're still on the, we're going to take the power way down. We're going to get it over on 40 meters. That seems to be more forgiving. Hold on. Okay, power meter's back online. Power is way reduced. Okay, good. We are in CW mode.
If you've got one of those Dymo machines, you should write a little note on the front. Don't
Yep.
power up more than 5 watts.
We got power. We got power. Don't you know? All right. What was it? What was the power glove? The power glove line from the Wizard?
Was it Nintendo?
No, it was no, it was.
I think it was California.
That's it, man. This is what I should have been. I should have been channeling my shirt. I have low power. Josh, stop trying to make full power out of the boy. Ay. Well, now you have seen a full final removal and final replacement, and we now have a working radio. Who wants to see it actually work digital modes now? Why not, right?
Yeah. FT8.
All right. So let's slide this over.
This is like the Chevy 350 of radios.
It is, right? It's like, hey, just put another one in there, brother. You got another. You got what's the transmissions that were always blowing out of the. God, what were we doing with those Chevys all the time? They're putting in God, I can't remember now. It's been so long. I used to have a buddy of mine who had a Nova 2, and he would be swapping transmissions on a thing all the time.
Yeah.
Turbo?
On the Novas, you could, or let's see, the Chevy Vegas, you used to be able to.
Oh, Vegas were the best.
V8. Yeah, you could put a V8 in those suckers.
Vegas were the best. Also, I got people to start talking about the neon SRT4. There was a bunch of people commenting on it after my comment about that car. That car came off the floor so hot. It was insane. All right, so Turbo 350. Yep. That's it. Turbo 350s, the Chevy Turbo 350s, man. We blew those things up. All right, so let's slide this over here. All right, so it just pretend like we didn't go live an hour ago. So what are we gonna do? We gotta change the mode to where I passed it, FT8, and then we just need to get down to 074.
And by the way, you should probably put that out on groups.io that if people have blown finals a couple of times, go and check them, and like you just did, and see if you can find a pair of good ones, because that's a great trick.
All right, so if my time is right, which I appreciate you guys are going to have a little bit of a tough time with my time. We're seeing it. Yeah, it's a little rough. Let's see if we can.
That's why I want to hang a GPS off of mine.
There you go. So now we're decoding. So how you do this, it's actually pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy, but it is a little bit non-standard from what you expect. One of the things I didn't get to go into was the manual, which you probably won't want a printout of the manual, or in fact, I have the manual loaded on my iPad, which I was using for the last day or so that I had it. So my little iPad, I've got the manual loaded on this. The manual is really helpful, and in fact, you kind of need to use it. Oh, by the way, see my the IF filter is like way high. We need to drop that down really fast. Before we do that, though, let's take the AGC off, and let's drop the noise floor. Oh yeah, right there. Just kissing the bottom there. Just kissing it. Give it the 10. There you go, right in the spot. And okay, the thing to know is you click the macro button. The macro button then changes everything over to the FT8 functionality. And what you do at that point, it'll log internally too. But there's one key thing that we have to know. And I'll bring up the web so we can show this. So here's the operating manual. And if you go down to FT8, there's two modes. There's semi-automatic FT8 and then manual FT8. So what's semi-automatic mean? So that means it'll generally process most of the contact for you, and you can see, just like we expect, in the little reds and greens as it goes down. So to set it into different modes, you use the hash, the backslash, and then whatever mode you want. So let me find, where was it written? Mode. So you use backslash FT8 mode, or / FT8 mode, and then I think it's semi, but this is manual right here. So to figure out all the commands, you just scroll down to the bottom of this thing and look for FT8 mode, and there you go. FT8 mode semi, that's what we want to use, or we can just use S. So let's do that right now. And this is a perfect time for me to show you how the frickin' keyboard works. All right, let's do that now. So I've got this keyboard. I've had this keyboard for a really long time. It folds open. It is a keyboard and a trackpad. And guess what? Raspberry Pis love this thing. So I slide it off camera here. I'm going to go close. We're not closing the software. And I'm going to click the little Bluetooth button. So the light should come on here. There it is. And I'm going to click Bluetooth. And I'm going to go keyboard. Nope. Come back. Connect. I'm really at the bad angle for this. There we go. So now we should have, yep, there we go. We've got mouse control. Okay, so let's go back into the sBitx software. So now I've got full keyboard and mouse control, which you can do on your own. So now I'm going to find a hot signal, and I'm going to, oh, you know what? I got to do the whole whole thing. Hold on. FT8 mode S. Okay, so now I can just click a call sign and I should be able to work them. I'm going to look for a hot signal here. I'm going to wait for the next round.
I feel like semi-auto ATF deserves a meme or something.
Is this thing updating anymore? What's going on? Oh, let's also give it some of the beans here.
FTA, I mean.
So the only thing I don't know is that these signal reports are a little wonky when you look at this. We got a DJ1. There's a CQ call, high. So we're sending -10. We'll see if this all works out. Nothing has happened. You got one more round on it. We'll see. Did nothing. Oh, now it's going. Damn it. I just wiped the contact. And now it's transmitting. Yeah, it's transmitting. Oh, it died! We're barely putting 10 watts through it. It was barely 10 watts. So, what have we learned today, boys and girls? That the finals are damaged. All of them are damaged considerably. Hilarious. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Let's go ahead and cheers. Prols. Fantastic, even. Wonderful. All right. Well, that was a fun time. Did it? Oh yeah, it's a proper kill. That's a. It took out the power supply. Oh yeah, 100%. Those finals are not expensive, so I'll just replace them and we'll be back on the air. So no big deal. But hey, there you at least saw how that works. Kind of.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were damaged ones, weren't they?
Yeah. I assume nobody got out scot-free. Yeah, no FARs. There is no FARs for me. That is definitely true. Well, okay. So we can move on from that. Is there anybody left that has any questions? Just want to make sure we get your questions answered.
Is there a way in the FT8 where you can do a tune?
No, there isn't.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much it. I think we can call that dead, but we'll try. Let's try running it into a battery just in case to see if it will work. Nope. Yep, they're gone. Them finals are dead.
Socketing the board to make it easier to swap finals.
The problem I think is still the placement of the heatsink. And making sure you get the spreader on top of it to spread it out, the heat out.
And one of your finals is probably still good. It's only the one.
Don, you're right. No, I'm gonna buy a bunch of these things. In fact, what are they? Let's just look them up. Where's Jody? Jody, where do I get these things for cheap? Jody, where do I get these things for cheap? They're red shirt finals. My favorite comment of the live stream. These are red shirt finals. They're the away team of finals. They're meant to go in and get destroyed. Where's the best one of these finals? These are what are these finals? Jody already posted the. Mauser had them at 60 cents if you bought 100. Well, who would not buy 100? Come on.
If only you were an orc, your magical field would keep it working.
At the rate you're burning them up.
Yeah, at the rate I'm doing it, I don't even know that 60 cents for 100 is unreasonable at this point. What are they? Hold on. Oh, God. And of course, I put the silver ink right over the top of this one instead of the side. It's 120 cents. It's $1.20 per contact. That's right. So, let's see. What are they? Who's going to tell me what they are?
Hey, Josh.
Can you do a phone a friend to Ashar and see what he recommends?
Nah.
I'd probably ask George from the Ham Radio Workbench. He'll probably tell you a better one, or Mark Smith.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we just go for it. I think we just buy a bunch of them, and if they burn, they burn. If they die,
how do you limit your power to burn them?
You just treat it like it's QRP. So I was running 10 watts. Those are already damaged. So I think if you're... So take any band you're on with that radio. Take any band and just half it. Like whatever the maximum is. So if the maximum is saying 30 watts, like cut that down to 15. So, that's what I would do. I'd keep it simple. Speaking of ham radio, though, let's turn one of these bad boys on here. Yeah, okay. There's the noise. All right. Hey, Janice R. Houseman. Thank you so much for subscribing on Twitch there. Thank you so much.
I do have an interesting discovery that I've made for any 991 alpha users on FT8.
Go for it.
Well, if you remember last week, I was mentioning that the receiver in the 991A was way hotter than my 7300. So WSJTX, the reception decibels was in the red, showing 85, just pegged out all the time. There is actually a menu item, number 073 in the deep menu. This is a data out level.
The deep F menu.
Yeah, the deep F. It's the data out level. It defaults at 50. I had to take it all the way back to 10, and now I get a green level 70 dBs, and I go from not showing, even though I've got all of that reception coming in on the radio that I can hear a bunch of FT8 signals, the waterfall on WSJTX just basically showed nothing. Turn that thing down and don't overload WSJTX. Now the waterfall is full.
Interesting.
I had no idea you could overload the program on the computer with audio.
Yeah, I've heard that too. And I'm trying to figure out on some of the radios I've got how to turn it down. Because I can get on and I know like on one radio I've got tons of signals. and I go to another radio and I have very few, and I'm like, it seems to help to turn it down or turn it down to like even way below that, like that green thing when it's 40. Get it even a little below that, and it seems to help. But it depends on the radio. It seems like.
Yeah, definitely made a big difference on mine on this night. I didn't. Didn't have to do any of that with that 7300. So, but yeah, just another tick in the another notch in the stick.
Right on, man. Right on. All right, so we got I got 20 of those bad boys coming to me direct.
You should get some 3-pin sockets so you can like socket them in.
I've got sockets. If I want to socket it, I could. And in fact, yeah, at this point I probably should, just to save the PCB. That's probably a good call. I think I will do that. I think you're right. Everybody who commented on that, I will socket it out. Because now this is the third time doing it. I've already desoldered twice at like 750, so probably it's a very easy desolder, but still, I think everybody, yeah.
And so it's the heatsink on the back there. Why is that so high on the back?
It's high just to match the MOSFETs. The MOSFETs are literally just supposed to be like slapped right on there, and it's supposed to be a smooth surface. In fact, I might come back and do like PC CPU grease just on that. Just why not at this point? What the hell? We'll have some fun with it.
Like
we'll hot rod the crap out of it
or something.
Yeah. No, we'll do liquid metal. We'll do liquid metal CPU. That won't work because it's not flat, I guess. So, somebody commented, Hawkeye, no, IT guy. Josh, your antenna must be special as I'm almost local to you and not picking you up as much as you on FT8. My antenna is special, I guess. A little bit, I guess. A little bit.
What he hasn't worked out is that the aerial stays still and his house goes round.
That's right. So there's my waterfall on FT8. Well, hold on. Let's make sure we're all good to go. Let's see. We'll go to 50 right now. Oh, yep, I thought so. I thought so. Hold on. We got funky business afoot. Oh, yeah. That's where it's at right there. All right, let's get you in there. Let's get you in there, bud. We'll get it done. All right. Hey, let's take some more ham radio questions. So anybody in there with questions? We'd love to take them. I know there's very few people left because all of that, I think, was not interesting to most people.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
Only the people that stuck around found that fun.
Well, it's like your kit builds. I mean, I love those.
Yeah, but they're like literally my least popular videos, and I've already dipped into this radio like 3 times. And the fact that I went back for a third, people are like, "Oh my god, move on, Josh, do something fun." We'll be talking about.
I was waiting.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was waiting to make an FT8 contact with you. I'm sitting here on my back porch with my MacBook and an InFed.
I'm transmitting right now. I'm transmitting on FT8. We're back on the 7610.
40?
40, yes, sir.
I'll fire up the Hermes light and see if I can pull you up.
Only thing I've got is a QDX, so we'll see how this all works out.
Oh, cool.
Hopefully
yeah.
I can make
I'll
the
be looking
contact.
for you.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. The first time I tried the QDX with 1 watt, I got Hawaii with 1 watt from Texas.
Did you get that WH6S guy?
The last person.
I've gotten him.
No.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
I've been doing QRP out at the Salt Plains State Park. Had to get that out right. Then I could get this guy pretty much regularly I've gotten him 3 times on 20 meters in the morning.
Yeah, the other thing I've done with the QDX is I got JS8 call working on it. That's fun.
I got you, Josh. KI6NAZ.
That's it.
I'll send something out there and try to type it in.
I do have a unrelated question.
Yeah, go for it.
Whenever everything kind of clears up. Well, got an interesting thing that happened. Ooh, hit the bench here. But I have put up a set of 2 meter, 70 centimeter beams, horizontal, 10 element, work a little bit of 2 meter sideband, and it's good enough too to work the repeaters, even though they're horizontal. But I wanted to put my omnidirectional up above them on the mast so that if I'm, want to, I ain't got to worry spinning my beams. I can just flip over and listen everywhere. And so recently, the other day, Wednesday, I got up there on the roof and did that. And so now I have a funny SWR thing going on. Unless I run a specific length of coax, the SWR goes crazy on everything.
That doesn't make any sense.
I didn't understand it either, so like I've got a Daiwa meter, it's brand new, just got it this past Huntsville Hamfest, and it's been working fine with the beams, and it worked just fine with the omnidirectional before I put the beams up there.
Mm-hmm.
Now with that meter in line, it throws my SWR on the omnidirectional a 2-to-1, and on the beams a 1.5-to-1, which is not that bad. I have one of those little Nessie inline, the little flat small meters.
Mhm.
If I take that Daiwa meter out of line and put that small meter in line, it drops the SWR to a 1.5 on the Omni and a 1.1 on the beams. And so then if I if I change the 1-foot jumper that goes to the meter to a 3-foot jumper, it throws the SWRs back up again. It's really weird.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, somebody mentioned a counterpoise, and I would try adding a counterpoise on that infed halfway.
Yeah, because if you've only got 3 foot of counterpoise in your cable, you're not gonna. And
thought it was talking 2 meter.
Yeah, it's a diamond.
Oh, you're on 2 meter.
Omnidirectional, and it's got the ground plane kit on the bottom of it, and then below that's the 2 meter beams.
And you got them horizontal.
The beams are horizontal. There's a 10 element 2 meter beam, and then a 70 centimeter beam above it, horizontal. And then about 2 feet up above that is the base of the omnidirectional, which is a 2 meter and 70 centimeter multiband.
Are you on a switch, or how have you got them hooked?
I don't have a switch yet, so I have a window pane pass through, and so one's on one port, one's on the other, and the jumper that goes from my radio to that, I just have to pull it off and move it over to the other connection right now. SWR was not doing this with either set of antennas when only one of those antennas was up there. So either the 2 coaxes running side by side is interacting, or the antennas are interacting, but it just doesn't make sense to me that they are.
Well, it's not necessarily that they're interacting. I don't think that's necessarily the point to jump to. This is an end-fed HF antenna we're talking about, right?
No, it's a 2 meter, 70 centimeter omnidirectional, which is on top of the mast, and then below that is 2 meter and 70 centimeter beams.
So
And
what kind of omnidirectional antenna is it?
It's a diamond 200. I forget the letter and number and stuff that's right. It's like 200X.
It's the vertical, right?
It's like a collinear.
It's not a
though.
disc cone, is it?
It's a collinear that has the spikes at the bottom.
Yeah, that's the way I was taking it. He's got a vertical collinear on top of his beams.
Yeah, are you there, man? Did we lose you?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Yeah. Well, what antenna is the Omni? What is it? What kind of antenna is it?
200. It's a diamond vertical 200X. I think is it's a 200. Either way, I think it's called 200X. It's a diamond. It's a 2 meter, 70 centimeter vertical. UHF VHF antenna.
Right, but like,
and it's got the 4 little quarter waves off the bottom for a ground plane. Is that what you were saying before?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's got the little spikes off the bottom there, the little ground planes.
And specifically, what's happening that you don't like?
Okay, I used to only run that vertical. That was the only antenna I had.
Mm-hmm.
I recently got a set of diamond 2 meter and 70 centimeter 10 element beams, two
Okay.
mono band beams. So I took the omnidirectional down, the vertical down, and put the beams up, one on top, the 2 meter on bottom, 70 centimeter above that, and then just ran them until I got another length of coax. Then I put the vertical omnidirectional up above them, so that if any time I wanted to not be worrying about swinging the beams around to hear people, I could just go to the omnidirectional. Well, when I did that, now I get a weird SWR thing where I have to run a specific meter. This is a little bitty tiny inline meter and a specific length of jumper. Otherwise, my SWRs go way high.
No, that doesn't make any sense. Are you sure just in the process of all this, like you just didn't get like some kind of water ingress, or that you had something else going on with connectors or something like that? It's the same coax?
One set of coax is the same coax I always had, and the new coax is Messium Poloni Hyperflex 13.
Well, there's your problem. No, I'm just kidding. This isn't when you're no, it wouldn't matter if you're transmitting on the other bands.
It was just weird. It like I said, I've had both antennas up singularly with no issue, and now that they're both up there, this has become an issue, and it's just kind of weird. I'm thinking that somehow or another they're interacting, but I just don't understand why they would be.
I feel like that they're not necessarily. How much higher is the Omni from the beams?
The bottom of it, where it actually clamps onto the mast, is about 2 feet above the 70 centimeter beam, and which would make it about 4 feet above the other 2 meter beam that's on there. So, and then I don't know, it's like 6 foot tall.
I mean, there could be some kind of interaction, because generally what people will do is they'll put their HF antennas as Yankees, and then they'll put their VHF, UHF on top of that, and those don't generally interact with each other. But the fact that you have all VHF, UHF antennas, and they're all relatively close, means that you could be having some interaction. If nothing has changed and you think the coax is good and everything is fine, and the only thing you did was add like 2 antennas onto the roof that is in close proximity of the first omnidirectional, then you could probably assume that they're interacting. That's probably a safe assumption.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. I mean, it is pretty clear to me that that's what it is. It's just it also didn't make sense why they would at the same time, so I was just
Well,
wondering if
they're like they're resonant though, right?
Yeah, but like I'm a half. Most people say you put similar band antennas a half wavelength apart, and they should be good. I don't know.
That's
That's
true.
what I've been told.
True. Okay. So you've got the well, sure, but your 70 centimeter elements are in close proximity with the collinear vertical, even though you're running 2 meters, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Man, I don't know. This is almost like science experiment territory with this one.
Yeah, I mean, and I know how I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna go up there and take the omnidirectional down and move it somewhere else. But it just kind of, I don't know. It was making me think maybe instead of the antennas interacting, maybe the 2 lengths of coax running side by side up a pole was what it was, or something. I didn't know.
No, probably not.
What kind of hardline are you using?
The original coax that I had is some 1/2 inch RG8U. It's not really great stuff. It's okay on 2 meters. It's not really good on 70 centimeters. But the new coax that I bought is a Hyperflex 13 Messy Poloni.
Yeah, I think you're probably you may be having some interaction between the antenna and the your other antennas on the same frequencies. That seems to make sense.
Hey, so who all went to the whole QRO today thingy?
QSO today.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, Jamscan, you and I were like we were hanging out at the Ham Radio Workbench Lounge.
Yeah, I've never, this is my first time doing that. It was actually kind of cool.
So to be honest, that's probably the best implementation of the lounge type setup that I've seen for that show. I've been going for a while now, and whatever they're doing right now, they should keep doing for the lounges. They were a lot of fun, and that was about I think the best you can do is you get the cool people in that little space, and then kind of everybody kind of draws into it. George was in there, and everybody from the show was in there. That was really fun. That was really cool. Some of the talks, though, I like them, I guess. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, so I know exactly what you're talking about. So you just kind of feel like you're just sitting in the thing,
Yeah.
and you're not really talking.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously not like. I don't think he's going to do live streams like I do. I know he's not going to. But at the same time, most of those are pre-recorded. So for a lot of what they're doing, it's kind of just feels like you're in it for the ride, and people are just kind of talking around you about the topic that they're on, which is cool. Like, that's fine. The Q&As at the end were generally pretty good. I actually did get some good pieces of information I was looking for, which ended up me spending more money today on something. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Eric Guth, the dude that puts it all on for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, it'd be really cool if you could just have one big room and then just set it up like a ham fest, where you go from like booth to booth and like talk about that.
Oh, that's a really good idea, Jamscan. Yes. Just like that, like run aisles of all kinds of crap, right?
Yeah, because then you can kind of find the topic that you want to learn more about, and just go in there, and people are already talking about it.
Right. It feels like, and this is nothing against Eric, because I think Eric is passionate about sharing information about ham radio. He's truly passionate about ham radio, and obviously with his podcast and everything he does, like he's committed to what he's doing. But at the same time, the platform for this kind of already exists. It's YouTube, right? I mean, anything that's outside of that is kind of reinventing the wheel. And for a couple of years, they were using YouTube to host some of the premieres or live streams or, whatever. And I feel like that's what it is, right? It's YouTube. Like I can live stream anytime I want.
You can't have like a chat with somebody on YouTube.
No,
You
the
might go and
lounge.
sit down and
No, the lounge situation, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you. I thought that lounge thing was really cool, but then at the same time, like, aren't we all sitting in the Discord right now? And how many people do we have in here? Do you want? Should I put a picture up of lounge chairs with donuts and pizza, and then like, would that feel the same? But we're talking right now, right?
yeah, but not everybody, not everybody like comes to your Discord, Josh. You know what I mean? Like the people that I've never seen. It's kind of, it's just a little different.
Sure, absolutely. But at the same time, like this chat room that we have right now for the live stream is a small chat. Like it's already dwindled down. But this is like more people in one room right now than most of the lobbies over at the QSO today right now. Or the lounges.
This is true. I agree with you. I don't know. But it was still kind of cool to check it out and
Oh no, yeah, no. By the way, I'm not taking anything away from what they're doing. I do really like the concept. I just feel that it's like it's out of sync of reality a bit. It's almost like we're forcing it to fit. Like we're forcing it to be a thing. I don't know. I love the fact that he has that archive of talks.
I definitely see where you're coming from.
I love that he has that archive. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I have to agree with you, Josh. I went last year, and like there was definitely like when the pandemic was going on, it was great because you could hang out with people in like a Hamfest themed environment, even though like everything was canceled at that point. But like you said, like yeah, now it's just kind of like, I mean, what differentiates this from YouTube or anything else, really?
It's a really interesting concept, in that at the end of the day, what comes out of it is Eric has a huge pile of talks. Those talks, if you were to ask me what to do with them, should be put on YouTube or something that he doesn't have to pay for, because and I get it. And if you're watching this, I appreciate you have some kind of situation with YouTube. I don't know what happened there, but Eric he was banned, or his account was banned or something like that from YouTube. He has literally one of the largest archives of talks, and they're all pretty good, that should be on a platform like YouTube. If a channel...
Did he get done like Callum?
What? I don't know, and I'm not going to assume. It doesn't matter. It could be for something completely stupid. It does, and Callum's was for something completely stupid. Doesn't matter. The point, though, is that like the eyeballs are on YouTube. The young people are on YouTube. Everyone is on YouTube. Old people, young people. I don't want to gender age restrict this. Like everybody is on YouTube. That's where that stuff needs to be. We need to get him on YouTube as soon as we can, for that archive, because he actually won on him, right? The wherewithal to put something like this together, collect everybody, coordinate everybody, and then make it happen from Israel, and then it be as successful as it's been. There's been some bumps, but it's been largely successful. And then to come out of it with hundreds of talks. Those talks need to be up on YouTube.
A question for you on that, Josh.
And Conrad, thank you so much for subscribing. Subscribing or whatever you did. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
Hey, Josh, Jagger here.
Jagger, what's up, man?
Hey, man. So I noticed that it seems like a few of those content people on that QSO Today thing, they're able to get their videos on YouTube, but it takes like 6 months. And then it seems to be very few. I think Rhea had one from last year. Why is there some sort of like contractual thing for the speaker to put their work onto YouTube?
I have no idea. Great question. If I had known that when I interviewed him for Ham Nation, I would have asked. But at the end of the day, he has the recordings for all of the talks, and they're on the website. By the way, like seriously, I'm gonna put the website up right now. Hold on, where is it? Let's bring the web up.
The way he originally said he was going to work it was he would keep it. So you would pay, and then during the paid period, which went on for about a month, you had access to those videos, and then later on he would release them for the general public.
No, yeah,
so he's keeping those behind a paywall. Basically.
No, he's not. He's not, John.
Yeah.
So, no, he's not. Look. Watch. Are you watching me right now? Are you watching?
Yeah.
So
yes, it's on a paywall for 30 days.
No. Well, for the ones that are live right now, but here what?
So
right.
Hold on. I mean. The archive though is completely free right now. There's 200 presentations right now.
Right.
From all his expos.
Yeah,
all of them are here.
But I think once he's done the paywall thing and he's got them up there, then when they go free, he just opens the paywall up. He's not going to move them to YouTube.
But he should.
I get what you're saying.
He should figure out what's going on with YouTube.
Personally, I think I would do Rumble or Odyssey myself, but
he would make money on YouTube. If it was about money, he would make way more money on YouTube than he would doing thing.
So everybody hear me out. Hear me out. Like, I like Rumble. I support off YouTube places to put videos. I really do. And I'm gonna center myself a little bit here. I completely support that. But the work was put in. Like, some amount of hours were put in that he should get it to a place that actually can pay him back for the time spent, right? And then that only equals more good in ham radio. It's just ad dollars that come from, YouTube ad people.
Yeah, there could be an issue with that too, because, like, for instance, if you did one of his presentations and you knew, okay, this video is going to be up for a month and behind his paywall, and then he's going to leave it for free out there where other people can get to it later. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to release it on YouTube, so the revenue for that video is my revenue, not Eric's revenue.
Well, it's still his revenue because he's hosting it, right? At the end of the day.
He's only hosting it during the first month or so.
But he
Here's
recorded
the thing, Don, is you get more than just the videos. You get that experience where you can go to like that virtual space. And, like,
I know I've been to them. I know exactly.
You can also ask questions to the people that made the videos at the end. So
right.
If you want to call that a paywall, I would call that an additional.
I'm talking about the archive, though. I'm talking about the archive. Once it's archived, then why don't and by the way, this happens in writing quite a bit. The rights should revert back to the original guy that produced the deal. That's even true in a lot of scientific presentations too. You go to a symposium, you present it during for the organizers of the presentation for preventing, for putting the thing up and all of that stuff. There's a certain cost, and he gets a chance to recoup his cost. But after his cost is recouped, the video or the content reverts back to you, and you can monetize it at that point. He doesn't get to.
So, Don, really good point. That should be something that was in whatever agreement, right? So, Don, if I was doing a talk for QSO today, maybe this is why they never asked me to do it. I would have done it exactly as you just said. Your 30-day period that you get access to my talk, that 30-day point ends, and then I can upload it on my channel, kind of thing.
Right.
It would be an agreement because I'm still the content creator for those slides, that discussion, all that stuff. Yeah, very good point, Don. Very good point.
Yeah, my wife was a writer, and there was a lot of that kind of stuff that went on. you were very, very careful with the negotiation of the rights for what you have produced.
Okay, everybody, I want to take a break here just to mention that Bob, K6UDA, my friend in Idaho, used to be California, but he's a quitter. He decided to get away from the pinnacle of the enemy lines, moved to Idaho. But good for him. I appreciate him, and enjoy your retirement. He is doing a POTA right now on 7.250 megahertz. I haven't heard him yet, but if he's in there, please get him up.
Man,
Somebody's in there, but I think he's slightly off signal.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
He's finna get popped.
KM9G is trying to do 1,000 this weekend, I think, or something. And he was on 40 meters on FT8.
Okay.
You know,
TO.
Yeah.
Temporary offline. Yeah.
I hadn't worked him, but right after I worked you, I was
regardless,
working him. And I had,
Okay.
Yeah.
Still, go get Bob, K6UDA. Go get Steve. Go get everybody. Go get them. Pull up the Soda website, Soda Spots. Google it. I'll show you how in a second. How to do that. But yeah, get everybody. I'm gonna run to the restroom though. I have to make a bit of a restroom break, so I'm gonna run an ad here, and I don't know where my Twitch is, so there it is.
What frequency did you say he was on?
Bob K6UD is on 7.250, but I think he might be off frequency. I think he's 251. Anyway, I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'll see you in a second.
Hey, Bob moved. He's on 7.233 right now.
233. There you go. Get him.
Go work him, guys. It was his first POTA outing.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, I'll pull it up and see if I can hear him.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah. He's starting kind of late though.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's a late shift.
Yeah.
I was.
If you're not like right there on the ball in late shift, like the later you go, I find like the harder it gets. Like people just start kind of dropping off pretty quick.
Yeah, what Steve's doing though, K7CAR will run damn near till 1 or 2 or 3 in the morning, and there are people working them right and left on. But that's FT8.
Yeah, well, FT8 POTA is like easy mode.
Hey Pat, you got to remember over here it's only 8:20, so it's a little bit different than where you're at.
Yeah, I know. It's just, yeah, you know how it is out west though.
And his signal was booming, Bob was booming. I was his first POTA contact ever, which I thought was pretty cool.
That's dope, man. You better send them like a fucking QSL card for that.
Yeah, that might be worthy of one. That'd be cool.
Dude, if you were his first POTA contact, yeah, you definitely should do that.
Bob's saying this is his first POTA activation. Does that ring true?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I was his first POTA contact ever because he was on 40 and I couldn't hear him, and he switched over or he's on 20 and I couldn't hear him. And then he switched over to 40 and just barely spotted himself on 40, and I tuned over and caught him, and he said I was his first POTA contact ever.
Yeah, I can't hear him.
Yeah, that's cool. That's pretty cool. Up here in Oregon, I can hear him pretty well.
Yeah, I can't. He's not making it to Texas. That's what I found today on 40. I could not get more than a state or two.
He's not making it to Washington either. I'm not hearing him up here.
Where he's on 33? Oh, I hear him. Yeah. Oh, I can hear him in the noise.
Mm-hmm.
I can't hear him. It's Bob. It's Bob. I hear Bob.
I wasn't hearing anything on the DX Commander. I switched over to the InFed, and I can hear a little bit.
Yeah, that's why you need diversity receive, dude.
I'm gonna give him a little bit of.
You need a log.
Yeah, that helps too. But I mean, if you can hear him a horizontal versus a vertical, it's man, diversity really clears that up.
Unmistakable, Bob. Like,
and he's on what, 233 or 230?
He's doing the 705 with the Elecraft amp again.
Oh, he's on the 705. Oh, with the Elecraft amp.
Yeah, like he did on Field Day a year ago, I think.
So he's doing what, 100 watts or 500?
I'm gonna try him.
I think he said 80 watts.
Tell you what, I was pretty sad when he stopped putting up videos for a while.
Hold on, I'm gonna try and hit him.
I think it took him a while to move in up there. It seemed like he had a lot of projects.
Yeah, he had a lot going on.
A lot of acreage.
I don't remember who it was that I was talking to today. It was like Doug or something. I didn't write it down his call sign, but he was in the at the QSO Today thingy. He was in the virtual chat stuff, and he like shared his screen, and he had Node-RED set up to control his beam.
Kilo India. I'm on the wrong. Because I got this set up for.
And he had a map of the world.
All right, we're gonna wait if he gets a little bit louder.
Direction.
I'm very
turned that way.
I've got it set up for digital modes, and so it's not. I have to remote everything here. All right, let's go back here for a second. Who are we trying to close out, Steve? You're talking about temporarily offline? Is he on FT8? Somebody said that?
I haven't picked him up in about 15 minutes, so I'm going to say he's off.
Oh, okay.
And I can't find his POTA spot anymore either.
All right, well then I'm going to pause here.
He might have moved to 20 though.
I'm going to pause. I'm going to try. I do want to get K6UDA if I can, so I'm gonna pull it off for a second. So
heck yeah, he deserves love.
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah. So while I'm doing this, is there anybody in there with questions, comments, anything? We'll open it wide up. Anything on ham radio? Let's go. Let's have some fun.
I had another antenna question.
All right, I'm listening, but also tuning frequencies. So go ahead.
All right, so it's probably a simple one. So I'm getting a random wire set up. I have a 9-to-1 I think it's an un. Do I need a 1-to-1 choke?
Okay, so this is where I'm going to have to ask you to clarify that point again one more time.
So I saw that when you set up a random wire, it's best practice, I guess, to put a 1-to-1 Balun choke in there. And I was wanting to know if that was absolutely necessary or if it was a best practice and why.
Yeah, so the choke, and it's a choke Balun is what you're adding, is to attempt to prevent RF from getting back into your radio or your computer or whatever you have in the field. That's the point for that. That's the entire point of all of that. With a random wire, you will get that kind of stuff. And generally it's going to be like in and around the tuner. All that stuff is just going to be crazy hot with RF. What, by the way, Bob moved to 33 or 33? 233? Okay. I don't hear him anymore. Shit. Oh, because I'm not on. I need to be on lower sideband. There it is. Okay, I'm listening again. Sorry.
No, you're good. Well, actually, that makes a lot of sense. So it's not a SWR thing. It's a
it's an RF in the shack. Thing. Yep. It'll blow out your USB connection if you're trying to do digital modes, all that stuff.
All right. Oh, that makes sense then. Well, I guess I have another thing to order.
I mean, heck, if you have the materials laying around, you could just make one. They're really easy.
Oh yeah, a good choke Balun is real easy to make.
I don't have any toroid cores or magnet wire. Are those
sounds like Bob's getting stepped on to me on another channel?
No, I can hear him fine. Well, on the West Coast.
Yeah, I was gonna say up in Seattle, there's somebody like next to me that's just insanely overpowered next to him.
Yeah, he's so faint though.
Have you turned your mast onto him in direction?
Yeah, well, I'm a dipole right now.
Okay.
All right, I got in number 9 with Bob, so there's only one spot left officially.
Are you the hex
He's
call
working it right
sign?
now. Yeah, he's hex.
Roger.
Yeah, I heard you.
Yeah, I think he's got number 10 now. Anyway, back
He
to
does. He's working it right now.
We should all just go silent now. Just complete silence. It's over.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try and get him right now.
Actually, have you any of you guys ever tried the?
I gotta go
kilo?
heads off for a second.
The kilo? I've got a kilo.
How long did it take you, and did you do it all voice?
4 kilos.
I did it all voice, and I didn't care. I didn't care how long it took.
My kilo actually did, I think, across 9 bands. And I did voice, CW, and sideband. Well, I'm kind of blessed because I live by DC, and a lot of people need DC for the 50th state, so it was like pretty hot, you know.
Kilo India 6 November Alpha Zulu.
But I think I did it in like 2 or 3 months. You know, like a weekend every month, every week.
Kilo India
like
6 November Alpha Zulu.
I mean, there'd be some days I'd make like 150 contacts, and there'd be some days I'd make 12. So it just depends on the bands and everything.
Okay, I must have been mistaken. I thought a kilo had to be within. I thought it was 1,000 contacts in 24
Kilo
hours.
India.
No.
What the heck is going on?
No, you're thinking of a radar.
That makes it easier.
You're thinking of a radar award, and that's doing a set number of parks within 24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes it easier for sure. Okay.
And then there's like a distance traveled requirements. Like for instance, I think if you're walking, you have to walk at least 1 kilometer. If you're biking or canoeing, I think it's like 3 kilometers, if I'm not mistaken. And if you're driving, it's like 10 kilometers in between both parks.
I thought that 1 kilometer and 3 kilometer limit was, you could even do that within the same park as long as you traveled.
Yeah, technically you can, yes. Yeah. You know, it's all like honor system with that too. Like they're not gonna check. So, you know, just be honest with it, I guess. But yeah, like, you know, for instance, like there's some parks, famous example I can think of is like C&O Canal and the Erie Canal, where it's like literally hundreds of miles long. So you could go from like, you know, one part of it, go travel 10 kilometers, which is like, I don't even know how long in miles. I'm terrible with metric.
Oh my god, I'm gonna lose him.
Josh, you got split on. You got split on, and your one's out of band.
For a second. Sorry, guys.
You know, keep activating that way. So I've gotten a lion, like even like where I live, where I have a ton of parks near me, like a lion award's no joke. So you know, you really got to plan that out.
Yeah, the big problem we have around here is it can take 3 to 4 hours or more to go to from between parks in some cases. So there's not a lot of parks that are nearby each other. There's a couple of places you can travel in Texas where there's parks close to each other.
No, I'm not.
Around the
Split,
Dallas area,
maybe?
it can take quite a while to get it. I think Shane,
dude, Split's been kicking my
this side
ass.
of the
I gotta
radio
tell
is
ya.
trying to get his.
That's
one of
That's
the
what it
wards,
was.
and he's
Jeez.
mapped out. I think
Split
up
has
near
been kicking
Lake
my ass.
Texoma
I don't know
and
why.
around
I don't even
there,
click that
where
thing.
he can kind of travel.
Well, I
around
did
that
on the,
lake, but that's a 3-hour drive from here. Plus, then doing around the lake, which will take him probably 4 to 5 hours, if not a whole day. And then
Kilo
of course,
India
drive
6
back
November
home.
Alpha
So
Zulu.
It's
Well, I have
it's
to
just
wonder.
a pain.
I have to wonder if there's any like national trails or whatever.
Kilo
that run
India
through
6
Texas.
November
Like, I would
Alpha
think
Zulu.
maybe
Bob, it's Josh.
Might, but
the only trail really that's here or near here is Chisholm Trail, and I don't think it qualifies.
Hey, I don't think that's POTA
Bob,
either.
you are
I was
barely
looking the
in
other
the
day when
noise,
Tank was
buddy, but I
talking
can
about
hear
it.
you, and I
I'm sorry,
know it's
Frank.
you, bud. So I'm gonna give you
Well,
a
that's interesting. Is it a
3-3-3-3
state trail or a
into
national
Cerritos,
trail?
California.
That's a national trail
Congratulations on
'cause
the
it goes,
POTA, man.
if I'm not
It's great to
mistaken,
hear
it goes
you.
from
Great to hear you out there.
Chicago to Kansas City to through Dallas down and somewhere deep down in South Texas, because the Chisholm Trail is basically the one that they used to run all the cattle up.
Yeah,
to
right.
go to
I know
market.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
QSL
that's
the
interesting. If
5-9.
that's
Thank you so much for the
administered
contact,
by
Bob.
the
Definitely keep
NPS,
it going, man. Get that POTA bug. We want
that
you
might
back in
I
there,
don't
bud.
think
I'll
it
talk
is.
to you later. 7-3.
Oh, then
No.
that's probably the issue.
It's a
It
it's a
like
historic trail. It's not really one
got
that
him.
like, people walk on.
There was an individual in Oklahoma that marked the Chisholm Trail. Every time a road crossed it, he put up a white marker. I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago. It's on YouTube if you want to look it up. And it comes through Enid. That's where I live, and that's why I know a little bit about it. But it basically follows the railroad line now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they stopped doing cattle drives years ago, and now it all goes on the railroad.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I don't know. I would see. Yeah, like trails are usually your best bet if you're going for a radar reward because you can just keep traveling down it. Every certain amount of distance you have to go and reactivate it. So I don't know.
Hey,
The only
Josh,
challenge
you're
with that
5-5
though.
coming through my antenna in Oregon here.
Oh, right on. Thank you.
Yeah, you were booming in here, Josh.
The only challenge with doing a trail is you'd probably have to go to a different band because if you're operating within the same day, any contacts you make on the same band will be duped unless you go to like a new state or whatever. So if you're in the same park, it'll be duped. So that's the challenge of doing a trail for doing your radar award.
Radar love.
Mm-hmm. This is like
I was actually going to volunteer for the state of Oklahoma to be our rep because our rep is actually, I don't think he lives in Oklahoma. I think, and I might be wrong, but because I've had some issues with parks on the air here lately and had to contact some people at the state.
All I can say is good luck with that because our rep for DC lives in Florida.
Well, like I said, I'll probably be talking to the dude that, because it was annoying to get accosted by a game warden about 3 weeks. Well, it was September 1st at a park that everybody uses. And like I said, get accosted by a game warden because they didn't have any idea who we were. There's nothing like talking to the game warden, I'm telling you. And I don't dislike the guy. I'm a hunter, so it's not that big a deal. But
yeah, they're doing POTA on game lands can get a little iffy.
Well, but
I was in a parking lot,
parks.
so
Exactly. Yeah, I know, but some states they're iffy about who can go on the game lands. Like in Maryland, you kind of have to have a permit for some of them. It's really weird.
Well, you have to have a conservation permit in Oklahoma or a hunting license. Take your pick. So, I mean, I get it, but there again, I've had a lifetime hunting license since 2007. That wasn't the issue. This guy just didn't want me there. So,
yeah, I've done a wildlife management area here in Texas, and that's what I did. I stayed in the parking lot. I didn't get out, and there were guys that are getting out in full camo gear with bows strapped to their back, walking off in the woods. And I'm like, no, I'm not going in there.
I appreciate that California is a bit different than other states. I mean, we got wider spaces with larger elevation and whatnot. But when we did the Pacifico hike, when we were doing SOTA, when we were hiking in and out, it was like the last 2 days of hunting season, and there was guys all around us hunting up and down the hills and whatnot. You just get in there, and I agree. Like, wear bright colors if you're going to do that. Particularly if you're going to be backpacking, expect that movement is going to draw eye line, and then have bright colors. That's why blaze orange is a thing, right?
Yeah, the thing about where I was, the vegetation was so dense. Like those guys would, like a few steps off the parking lot, they would just disappear in the brush because it was that dense. And
sure.
To me, the density, I didn't want to try to even put an antenna up in all that vegetation. So it was easier just stay in the parking lot with a hamstick on the top.
I had an interesting conversation with someone yesterday. I was at the Wally World grabbing a wrist rocket so I can get some wire antennas up in trees. And while we're waiting for the clerk to show up to unlock the case, he asked me what I was hunting. It was really confused. I said DX.
Well, and then what I heard from Huntsville was the guy that was letting people into the park was a real jerk.
Huntsville?
Oh yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, the old guy.
Yeah, the old guy that was letting people into the
park.
At
the gate?
Yes,
the gate.
At the gate. Supposedly, I don't remember who was talking about it. They were saying they were trying to turn people away.
So this is what you do. You say, I'm staying here. I'm staying with Jason. Ham Radio 2.0.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Somebody, I think it was Steve, KO4AFL, has said that the guy's been let go because there's a number of people complained about it.
So like, to be fair, like when we showed up, like I think Jason bought the pavilion the first night. I bought the pavilion the second night. And all of the campsites, most of the cabins, all the campsites that had hookups were all sold out to ham radio people. So I'm not asking them to do anything different. Like, I don't want them to be different than they already are. But at the same time, it's like we're gonna host events and stuff. Like, that's why we got the pavilion. And I don't think at any time. Maybe the second night had way more people than the first night. That's true, but it was never not manageable. It was always just a good group of people. That was it. Like, not rowdy at all.
Yeah, Joe Brett's saying that Lou and Pink got turned away one night.
I did not have a problem at all with the gate guard.
Where's Joe Brett? Why isn't he in the Discord?
He's on the chat in YouTube.
Yeah, he's on the YouTube. Why is he on the Discord? Come on, Joe Brett. You can talk to it. You had one of the cabins. You and your amazing wife. Literally one of one of the people that I know, like, at the end of the day will take care of everybody. Like, at the end of the day, she's gonna jump in there and help people out. I also know you will too, but your wife, I give up.
Park police guys ended up drinking with us the second night.
What's that?
One of the police guys in the park there.
Yeah, the ranger. Yeah.
He just ended up hanging out with us, having some beers with us.
It was the same ranger from last year too. He's a ham. Good guy. Oh, got it. Yeah, Joe Brett can't hop in here. He's in the house. Kids are trying to sleep. I get it, man. I get it. But hey, thanks for you and your wife. Always the most hospitable people. Thanks for everything.
That was a good time at Huntsville. And what was up with that random magician at the end?
That guy. Okay. So, oh God, I'm not going to be able to remember his call sign. So he and I started talking, and he said something. I don't know what he told me. He said something crazy. Before I knew he was a magician or anything, he was talking to me, and I'm like, out of curiosity, are you familiar with James Randi? I just threw that out there, and he's like, oh, James Randi is like one of my favorite people. And I'm like, are you a magician? He's like, I am.
I was there for this. You two had like a moment.
Oh, yeah. It was like when he started talking, he said something. I don't know what it was that he said, but he said something, and I knew. So if anybody doesn't know that, James Randi is a magician that has a foundation. He's passed, but the foundation lives on in his name. He has $1 million fund for anyone that can prove scientifically supernatural anything. basically anything, whether it's telekinesis, tarot card reading, they can see ghosts, whatever. Anything supernatural. And somehow we got on the same wavelength, and I caught it, and I was like, oh man, are you like, what are you all about? And then then he ran to his car and he came back and he was like kitted out. He started busting out the craziest magic tricks. Jamscan, you were there for all of it? It was wild.
I was there for all of it. My mind was completely blown.
I've seen some of those, but his sleights are really good. All of his hand moves, everything he does is just intense. It was amazing. I was very impressed.
Do you ever watch Coast to Coast AM on YouTube?
No, I haven't watched Coast to Coast AM on YouTube, but Don, I gotta say,
I know.
Now I'm one of the old school kids. I grew up listening to Art Bell. That's my Coast to Coast AM is listening to Art Bell.
Well,
where's Cam? Is Cam in here? Cam's not here, but
I just happened to flip on the other day. I was just brought up YouTube, and it's like Coast to Coast AM, and they had, who David Politis is?
No.
Okay, he's an ex-cop detective, and what he's been doing is he's been going around to all of these national forests and stuff like that where people just literally disappear, and then the government's always been real cagey about it. He goes in to like do investigations, and he tries to get information that was collected by the rangers or whoever, the Forest Service basically, and he's never been able to do it. He's got several books out, and like I listened to Mr. Ballin. Well, Mr. Ballin is the one that kind of introduced me to him. And but anyway, he's always been on all these disappearances, and he spends a lot of time going through all of these disappearances all over the country, and then he relates them to each other. Well, anyway, the other day he was on Coast to Coast AM, and he's relating all of these, and I was like completely blown away. Wait a minute, he's this crazy? But anyway, he's relating them all to Bigfoot. And what he was doing was he was saying on Coast to Coast
I love
AM,
it. I love it. It's so crazy. I love it.
Where the hell did that come from? And
it was Bigfoot's. It was Bigfoot's.
Well, he said that there's a woman that Dr. Chesterfield or something like that that has a lot of scientific evidence to prove Bigfoot now, and that most of the evidence that they have collected has come from Russia, because Russia's been holding on to it and keeping people away from it. And what he said is that recently she's been able to work with the Russian government to get some of the data, and it's enough to basically show that, yeah, there's something of a big ape-like animal out there that we simply can't see. And, here's the the DNA proof of it.
Russia has to be a Yeti. It can't be a Bigfoot.
Right.
They have forests. They have forests there. The Yetis are up in the Himalayas. They're
it's
way
like
up
the
high.
same name for the same
cryptozoology
creature. The reality is that, like, if anyone came through with a breakthrough like that, they could probably qualify for like a Nobel Prize or something of complete prominence, of just majesty. And to think that the Russians don't know that the Russians don't know of these awards that they can qualify for with this information is just boggles my mind.
Trying to turn into a super
governments are typically not interested if they consider that they don't want something known. They don't care what kind of a prize you're going to get out of it by revealing it, right, Daniel?
Listen,
knowing the Russians are trying to weaponize it.
Oh shit, Molson's in here. He snuck in.
Yeah, Molson's here.
If you want to see,
I only came to make contact with you on FT8. That's all I came for.
Well, let's go, bud. Let's go. I'll aim at you. I'm aiming at you.
If you guys want to meet a Bigfoot, just come down to Alabama. There's a guy that lives like 2 counties over. He married a
Bigfeet. He married a Bigfoot.
He's got a Bigfoot that's his friend, and it comes out and it eats mashed potatoes and cornbread with him.
Come on.
Well, the thing I always like about Bigfoot is ape, Smoking Ape is always making out like, oh no, Bigfoot's real. I mean, he's doing it as a joke, obviously.
Oh
He
yeah,
also
yeah,
does
yeah.
The flat Earth stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. And we
So,
never went to the
yeah.
moon. Smoking Ape is the best at
Yeah.
this. He is the best. I love that guy because of it. Because he
Yeah, and I love putting that stuff in the chat for him.
He loves it.
I
He
was
loves
on, Yeah, I was on the Toads Discord, and I pulled it up, and I pulled that Coast to Coast AM thing up, and it was still running live, and I said, well, we all know where the Smoking Ape is.
No, you know what? Straight up, like this is obviously 6 degrees of separation here, but Smoking Ape's voice, he could be the new Art Bell. He's got that smoky timbre in his voice.
Mm-hmm.
He could be the next Art Bell. He could be the wild card over the Rockies. Go to you. I'm doing Wolfman Jack right now, but Art Bell had a very unique voice, and Smoking Ape's not too far off, and he plays it really well when he's doing it. I love the Smoking Ape. I love.
Yeah, dude.
You never know which way he's gonna go, but generally, to satire is probably the direction.
Mm-hmm. Well, go ahead.
You laugh about the flat Earth thing, but I could literally show you like text after text from a buddy of mine trying to convert me to flat Earthism, whatever you call it. It's pretty sad. He sent me a picture of one where the devil brought Jesus up to the top of the mountain and
oh
said,
yeah,
look,
because it's got to be attached to Christianity. So okay, so I know that for a lot of flat earthers, the basis of their belief is grounded in Christianity. I know that is true. But I have a guy that I went to school with. I graduated this guy, high school. His name's Josh. His name is also Josh. And he and I got into a big thing, and he was like, oh, no, yeah, that we didn't go to the moon. The Earth is flat. And I'm like, okay. Like, what evidence do you have for it? And he's like, well, what evidence do you have that the Earth is round? I'm like, well, I literally worked on the satellite that we just put up, and I watched it go into space, and I saw an unbroken camera feed, multiple camera feeds of the boost stage and the separation of the boost stage, and then all the segments of the continuation stage, and then literally the camera that is on the payload go into space. And I literally watched it, and I worked on the software, and I was a part of the hardware team for all the ground station systems that receive the data from space. And he said, oh, so you're in on it. And I went, oh, you're just crazy. Then you're just fully insane. I'm like,
I don't know how rooted it is in Christianity. I was.
Oh yeah, no, there's a lot of Christianity rooted. Yeah.
People will take anything and distort it. That's like he sent me one as well. The Freemasons, how their logo. It's just crazy, just how listen, use anything to twist it and make it what you think it is. But
how is flat Earth in
kind of like how they twist the men in
what?
How is flat Earth ingrained in Christianity?
Yeah. Okay. So generally, the claims of user none. That's subscribe. So thank you for subscribing on Twitch. Thank you so much. So generally, the flat Earth, when it comes to Christianity, is a rejection of science, is what it comes down to. So
I literally live in the Bible Belt, and I've never heard a Christian ever claim flat Earth.
Yeah.
The Bible says it's spherical.
It is literally the fringe of the fringe of the fringe of Christianity. I'm not saying all Christians believe this. I'm saying that the generally the people you talk to that are diehard flat earthers, if you ask them like where are they getting the basis from, ultimately, it is generally Christianity.
But there's nothing. I would say that's just like any other crazy person will take something and just twist it. Like I think I agree with the other.
Yeah, I'm assuming that there's a Chinese person in China that's saying, "Yo, no, the flat Earth is it is flat Earth because of Buddhism." It's possible, but all I know is that what I got is in the United States, a lot of Christians believe. Okay, a lot is the wrong word. The people that do believe in the flat Earth are Christian a lot of the times. Most of the time.
There are people that believe in the flat Earth claim to be Christians. That doesn't really mean they are.
Well, it depends on how you cut that. It depends on how you cut that radish. But yes, I see where you're going. Yeah, I see where you're going.
And how many of these people are just looking for like attention and like And
oh, totally. Oh, okay.
Most definitely.
Okay. Do you want me to tell you what the secret is with the flat earthers? Do you want to tell what it is? Is that they want to appear that they know insider information that no one else knows. They know secret information. They want to be. And I've said this a couple of times in video. There are people that want to be the main character in a movie. They're living their life as though they are John Wick, or they are Neo from the Matrix, or they are insert another Keanu Reeves non-character. They want to believe that they are like the main character in a story. And all this other stuff around them is just happening, and they're like, I get it. I understand it. Why doesn't anyone understand this? I am the main character of all this story. That's like literally what's going through their brain. Whether they acknowledge it or not, that's what's happening. 100%.
You just described 3 guys I know to a T.
Yep.
Like
yep.
That T.
Yep. They're
all hardcore Christians, and they're all believers of flat Earth. That's insane.
They're all John McCain, John Wick, the high speed, low drag, all that stuff. All those guys.
John McCain was right.
And where do y'all live?
United States. That explains it all.
Well, what part of the
government we have the right to be paranoid.
You know what we got to really be fearful is the firmament having a crack in it, and then we flood. That's what we have to worry about.
Oh, I love you, Wilson. Thank you so much.
They need
there's a flat earth. We got to worry about that fire guy.
They need multiple doses of DMT. That'll make anybody think that the world is not flat. It'll make them understand the universe.
All right, Joe Rogan, did you infiltrate the after chat here? Is that what's happening?
No, I'm just saying.
Joe Rogan has entered the chat.
Enough psychedelics. Yeah, you can absolutely figure everything out.
But also true.
Yeah. By the way, let me just take a step back and say that, like, I understand that most Christians don't believe in the flat Earth. I know most Christians don't believe like Kent Hovind in the young Earth. I know most Christians don't believe that, but at the same time, the people that do believe the flat Earth generally are Christian. Generally, like Venn diagram type of stuff. I'm not denigrating. I'm not at all taking away anything. I'm just saying that, like, of a population of million. Okay, claiming, that's fine too. I'm okay with that. But they would argue that they are probably more diehard Christians than you are, right? So how do you judge that? That would be what they would say.
But I think we can all agree that, at least we live in a country where you can think whatever the hell you want to.
Oh, I'm very. No. I'm very much bathe the tree of liberty in the blood of infidels. We need to have scary freedom.
Provides for really good entertainment.
No, but we need to have scary freedom. Means that, yeah, there's going to be crazy stuff that happens. That's the reality of it. That's it. Like, scary freedom.
It makes life more exciting too.
Well, I don't want my life to be exciting, but I want to be free. At the same time, I know that to be free, I'm going to have to deal with the externalities that will affect me personally. I don't want them, but they will happen because of freedom. Period.
I had so this guy. So I'm dead serious. I'm struggling with this buddy who's like texting me incessantly all these flat Earth things, and another one of my buddies calls me. He's like, he was getting mad. He's like, we got to do something. Like, we got to say something. I'm like, you're never going to be able to debate this guy. Like, he is so entrenched in it. He's obsessed with it, and you just have to let it go, And that's the reality. Is like, it becomes consuming for this guy, right? And that's the worst part. Is there's no rationalizing.
What's his argument? What's his arguments? I know I'm asking this like third persons.
It's like Telegram links. Like, and he's sending it to me. I'm like, sorry, I'm not on Telegram. I can't watch it.
But have you explained how like lower satellite ham radio Doppler works?
Yeah, it's all nonsense and
okay, wait, Molson,
that's what he says. Like, what do you want me to do?
So Molson, you want to know my favorite argument for flat earthers? You want to know my favorite thing is ask them to explain how the tides work. how do the tides work?
That would be good.
So they think
there's a lot of questions.
So
like,
they hold on. So they think the Earth is flat, and it's just like two mounds of water that are just rotating around. Like that's what they think. Like it's just big booby mounds of water that are rotating around. Like explain tides. Explain the tides. Explain the tides, please.
Well,
that's what I'm saying to flat.
There's so much that needs to be explained. Like, how is it like Australia's day when we're night? Like, I'm sure they have some really high mountain in the middle of the Earth.
Oh, yeah, no, you want to know what the answer is? They believe that the sun and the moon are very close to the Earth. Like, close, like, they're little, the hangy things that you used to put in the crib, you know, that would spin around your children when they were sleeping.
Mobiles.
The mobiles. That's what they think the sun and the moon are. They're little like things that were placed there that just kind of spin around the flat disk. And you're like, okay, that's fine. How do you explain the tides? Explain the tides. Why does the water get higher and then lower on a flat disk?
The tides is easy. It's the four elephants that are standing on top of the turtle.
You
They're
son of a
spinning
bitch.
around.
You son of a bitch.
What you don't understand about that, Josh, completely makes sense.
Dang my head.
Just have them stand. Just have them.
Christians that say you have to wear long sleeve shirts and no jewelry. I know what group you're talking about now.
Just have them stand on a beach and watch a ship float away, and when it floats over the horizon, ask them why it floats over the horizon.
Wait. That's not a better question. That's not a better question. How does water? They'll just tell you. Okay, wait. So here's the problem. Here's the problem with this question. Okay, I'm giving you all the information I have on the flat Earth. Okay, or people that. By the way, as ham radio operators, this sounds stupid, but I've made a ton of videos, and I get people that comment on my videos asking about flat Earth thoughts. They want to back up their arguments using radio. And I generally tell them, it's like, okay, well, the difficulty is that, you know, high frequency radio specifically is line of sight, and it dies out. And I've literally been on 8,500 foot elevation mountains on a coastline, and my line of sight still just ends at the horizon. It just doesn't go on forever. Because if I was at that height, I technically would have been able to talk to any satellite ever, because it's a flat Earth, right? So the question above, the better question is, how is water staying here? So here's the problem with the water staying here. They already completely reject the concept of general relativity. So the fact that that matter can coalesce in space and make obloid spheroids, right, or whatever the shape of our planet is. It's not truly a sphere, but the fact that matter coalesces in gravity, they're completely not ready to handle that discussion. So it's generally just like, what are tides? Explain tides to me. Explain the high tide and low tide. We don't even need to get to this, like, how does water stay here? Because they're going to get you with, well, how does oxygen stay here? And they'll say air pressure. Right? Air pressure is one of the things they push on. Well, what is air pressure? Well, the disk that is flat is also traveling through space vertically, which causes the air to stay on the disk. Okay, so I'm now steel manning.
You've never been anywhere.
I'm both simultaneously arguing against and steel manning the argument that they make, because I've heard both of them, and I am pretty adept at dealing in any of it at this point.
I'm not a scientist. I can't understand that flow.
Josh,
I've
how many
dropped
people
two
do you
pictures.
actually think are actual
Don,
flat
you
earthers?
goddamn it, Don.
And Don, those are hilarious.
Don explained it. There it is. All right, so everybody in the YouTube chat, here we go. We figured out the flat Earth. There it is. We figured it out.
And I assume you guys actually know what that's from, right?
That's is it Greek mythology or what?
No, that's Terry Pratchett's novels, Discworld.
Oh, okay, all right. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is
if you've never been anywhere and you've never gone on a 6,000-mile plane ride to the opposite sides of the world, you don't understand these things. I would assume most people that think it's flat have never done these things.
Well, so that's the problem with lat long. So by the way, Mercator projections and maps that we use to project our world are horrible. By the way, horrible. Does anybody realize that? Are we all on the same page that like the maps we use to actually show where we're at is actually a bad example of like
it makes the Western Hemisphere look bigger than the Eastern.
Right.
It's more of a political map than anything.
Well, so there's politics that gets into maps, but also when you start going north and south, it makes things like the North Pole and the South Pole seem smaller than they really are.
Greenland looks huge.
Like, what do they call it? The Grand Circle, I think is what it's called. So if you look at Jody's picture, the Earth shape, an obloid spheroid, if you notice that, like, as it gets to the top, the lat long coordinates, the grids actually get smaller. And if you look at the south in Antarctica, it's generally a bad projection of maps that people that believe in the flat Earth lay out. Like they'll show you the oh God, what's the what am I thinking of? UA, not the UA. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They have these projections for maps, and they don't really equate to the actual landmass of the shape that they're showing. Or they just give you the argument of the Antarctica is actually a great ice wall. And that's the perimeter of our flat Earth. And all the governments are working together to prevent you from knowing what's behind the wall. Because if you knew that, you know that the White Walkers are there. Yeah, because if you knew what was behind the white wall, the big wall, then you wouldn't you'd know that the Earth is flat. That's their argument.
Winter is coming.
The UN, that's what I'm thinking of. The UN.
I think you're looking for big radio. That's what.
Josh, I'd like to say that, you said it's mainly Christians, and Rockstar brings up a good point. It's probably just all the ICP fans out there that are flat earthers for the most part. I mean, like your ratio of Christians to ICP. I mean, I'd like to.
I would assume that the
I might
ICP
do a
ratio is
poll.
pretty high for Christianity. I would assume.
Which
They're pushing.
ICP are we talking about?
They're pushing drinking Fago. They're not drinking hard alcohol. They're drinking Fago. Think about it.
There's a nice
I think you spent too much time thinking about this.
Because you get so many questions about it.
I just cooked that up right now. I just cooked that up on the fly.
Which ICP are we talking about?
Insane Cloud Posse.
Okay, I did go work the right place. I got a question. Do these flat earthers also believe that Mormons are shape-shifting lizard people?
No, I don't know. Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what they would claim.
We're gonna piss so many
There's
people off tonight.
There's a VK. There's a VK station working on 20 meters on FT8 right now. I can't get them, but
who is
VK1HX? I don't know where they're from, but
VK1 would
hit
be
'em.
Australia.
Yeah,
That's the
pretty
upper
like-
part of Australia, if I'm not
No,
mistaken.
that's by Canberra and Sydney.
Well, I'm just saying I can't hit them with my QDX. So if Josh wanted to nail somebody from, California with a directional
I'm
or
trying
Don,
to
you could
get
probably hit
Molson
him.
right now. I'm trying to get some Molson action going.
Do you hear me?
I haven't. Are you calling me directly, or what are we doing?
No, I'm just calling. Oh, I was calling CQ. I'm
Okay.
calling you right now.
All right, I'm waiting. I was.
Well, I responded to your last 3 CQs. I just pushed a little bit more power out.
All right, push a little bit more. There you go.
My 5 watts is hamming as hard as it can.
Did anybody ever get Don?
Dawn
Bob.
N5. Oh yeah, I did.
Bob.
I did. Yeah, I got him on voice. Yeah, hell yeah.
I never could hear him. I even tried to cheat and pull up the web SDR, and I could never hear him.
This isn't happening, Josh.
Don who?
Your receive's not that good, is it? 'Cause
Bob,
it's not my end.
Oh right, yeah, bud. All right, got a 6-pack of Moosehead to prove it otherwise to you.
Josh, I got a question for you that I asked earlier that you might have answered, but I got distracted, so I don't know if you answered it.
All right.
I was asking about the SWR meter for a UHF VHF rig. Like, what's a good one? Like a decent one to get?
Why? What do you want it? What are you using it for? Oh, gotcha, bud, gotcha. You're negative 15. You're not out.
Me?
Yeah, I see you right now.
Okay, I'll see if I hear you.
Yeah, you keep talking shit on my antenna.
In FTM 400 XDR.
Yeah,
there you are.
But why do you need it? What's the point? What are you doing with it?
Oh, tune it so it doesn't have crazy high SWR.
Which antenna? Which antenna?
I gotta look. It's Comet CA2X4SR.
All right, so let me get the website up here. Hold on.
I've got a Daiwa CN501V. It's a pretty
Comet CA2A what? 4SR?
CA2X4SR.
Yeah, I got that. Okay. So you want a power meter to tune the antenna. Do you know that the antenna... Look at that! Molson, we got it. No questions. That was easy.
Thanks for the contact. Thanks for turning your ears on.
Shut up, man. You were talking crap about my antenna. I nailed it on one call. I got it on one call.
If the Earth was
I got
flat,
Molson
it'd be a
on
lot easier to
five
make
band voice.
contacts.
So what was he at? Hold on.
Actually, it'd be harder.
Oh yeah, I can't hear him on voice right
There's
now.
no long path then, right? There's only
All right.
one path. Oh,
it would
gosh.
just bounce off the atmosphere and hit one place.
So okay, so let's go back to the question. Comet CA2X4SR. So this is a 4-band antenna?
It's a
tri-band?
It looks
dual
like
band.
dual band.
Dual band. So why do you need a power meter for this? Just run it.
No, he said SWR meter.
Yeah, but why?
Yeah, I haven't tuned a 2-meter 440 antenna in years. They usually are that out of the box, unless you're doing the only ones I've ever are the ones that are up in that are Yagis. Yagis will need tuning on more than one occasion, but a mobile antenna, no.
Yeah, not really.
He could just be like me, and he just likes to monitor just in case.
When I tuned it, the SWR meter just went clear off the chart, all the way red.
So how did you have it mounted when you were testing it?
Yeah, that's more your mounting situation.
I just got Europe on 5 watt.
Rig for like a trunk or whatever, but it's not set up yet. I just set it up and programmed it today, and I just wanted to make sure it worked. And it's literally in the middle of the room on a car. It's mounted to a cardboard box because I didn't want to have anything.
Oh hell no!
Oh yeah, you can't do that. You have to have it mounted to metal.
Yeah, like pipe plate at minimum.
Oh, I thought if I didn't, if it wasn't in the vehicle yet, if I didn't ground it, it wasn't going to hurt anything.
No,
so I do have.
No. So the thing to keep in mind is that a vertical antenna, like a sticky bit in the air, has to have the other half of the sticky bit on the ground or in the body of the car, right? The metal, right? You put metal in the air, you have to have an equal bit of metal in the body of the car or on the ground or something like that if you want the vertical sticky bit, right? So we literally
You're
figured out the
essentially
whole
talking
thing.
ground plane, right, Josh?
Yeah, exactly. Like, look, we literally figured out what this whole problem is that you had an antenna, you have an antenna that you're going to put on your car, which is great, which is totally great. That mount, by the way, that mount is your ground plane. Whenever you connect to that mount, that is the ground plane of the antenna. When you check your little hex nuts, and you key them in and lock them into that trunk lid that you're going to do or whatever you're going to do, that is the ground plane for that antenna. And then when you put that vertical VHF, UHF on it, that's the isolated vertical bit, the positive line on the antenna. And everything else bleeds into that antenna mount that connects to the trunk lid and the body of your car. So, yeah.
Okay, that makes way more sense now. Okay, yeah. I thought since it wasn't in the vehicle yet, that if I put it on metal, it screw it up because it's not mounted in a vehicle and all that. So I was just retarded on that one.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
it's two sides of the coin. Like two sides of the coin. If you think of antennas are circuits, right? They are part of a circuit. There's a positive side and a negative side. Just because somebody tells you, oh, it's an end-fed, and it's just a long wire that goes out in the middle of space, that we don't need the negative, they're lying to you. There's always a negative. There's always a counterpoise. The difference is that where does that counterpoise come from? It comes from something else, the body of the car, the coax, or something like that. There are no free games. You always have to have a balance. There's always a light side and a dark side to the force. There's always a positive, there's always a negative. That's where it all lies. They have to have it. Can't have an antenna otherwise.
And where are you seeing your SWR? I mean, you said it was in the red. Red where?
You said on the cardboard box.
No, on the display, like when you key up, it gives you a little red meter across, shows you how much SWR had, and it just maxed right out.
On the 400?
Yeah, it's in one of the sub menus you can set up.
Oh, okay. I never set it up. But I mean, honestly, if you get it on the car, that antenna on a car properly mounted, and by the way, depending on the mount, you need to make sure that you get good metal to metal contact. Or if it's a mag mount, you got to make sure that you're sticking on something that actually, holds it well. And when you do that, you're not going to have any SWR issues.
Yeah, it's one of those like curled lips with I think 4 pinch screws that I'm going to like pre-tap.
Yeah. So here's the thing on the pinch screws. The pinch screws need to penetrate the metal or the paint and make contact with the metal that you're pinching onto.
No flat. Take out the flat piece of metal. Throw it away. Don is completely correct. Take those little screws and shove them all into the metal. Just gun it in there. Send it right up in there. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure that the paint that, a lot of those parts are painted. Make sure that paint is completely gone and you're looking at bare metal.
Yep.
And that screw goes into bare metal.
Yeah, I
cookie sheet.
Like a punch tap you press with it's like spring powered. So I whacked that like 3 or 4 times in the center of it, and I've roughed all the ends of the screws and then the top of I should say the bottom of the mount plate and then the top of the hood. So there's going to be there'll be technically the 4 screw holes, and then the whole top piece is going to be cleaned up.
Yeah, but when you on the hood part, you've gotten rid of all the paint on the hood part that it's going to make contact with.
We don't have to get rid of all of it. Just get the screws. The screws.
No. Probably
sandblast the whole tail.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably about a half inch or so size, like little, like, I don't know, ovalish, and whatever. And they're metal to metal, and then I'm going to seal them from the outside so water doesn't get back into them and rust the shit out of my hood.
Yeah, I haven't had that problem, but
hold on. Are you saying you're going to drill through the hood? You shouldn't have to.
No,
not drill through. Like I have a I can't think what the hell it's called. It's a poker with a spring. You push on it, and once you get
to center punch.
Thank you. My brain. Yeah, it's after midnight here. I'm supposed to be asleep. Yeah, so I have a center punch. So I whacked it like 6 or 7 times to bust all the paint and knock everything off, and then I cleaned the tips of the screws. So all 4 of them are going to be metal to metal, and then the bottom of the plate and the top of the hood are going to be metal to metal, and then I'm sealing around the the mount just so that I don't get water to rust everything out.
Okay.
Okay, that's probably fine. That's probably fine.
Yeah. And
how is the bottom of the plate to the top of the hood metal?
Holy smokes!
I do fabrications and stuff for a living, so it's one of those things. I'll probably end up welding the fucking thing.
Just think, the only thing you have to keep in mind is the antenna, right? The antenna electrically needs to connect to all the things in your car and get back to your radio. That's all it has to do. The mount plate is the ground. It's the negative of the antenna. It has to connect to all the things to the best of your ability. That
hey Josh,
smooths out all the
question on
problems.
that.
Well, okay, go ahead, Richard.
What type of mount is on that antenna? Is that a UHF or is it like 3H24 or what?
Whatever you
UHF.
want, man.
No, actually, the one he called out.
It could be NMO. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The point is the same.
Truth is, yeah, it doesn't matter, but the one,
Right.
the one he was calling
It doesn't
out
matter
was
which
actually
one.
a UHF.
I was just going to suggest throwing a mag mount under it.
Nah.
Well, that's up to him, but I don't do those stupid pinch screws anymore. I only use mag mounts, and that's because the cars that I'm running have huge roofs and stuff, and I get really good ground planes off of a good mag mount.
Okay, yeah, and the minute you slap it on mag mount, slap it on your car, don't worry about your SWR, you'll be fine.
Yeah, as long as you're not either a fiberglass car or an aluminum car.
NMO.
Ford Pinto.
Oh, Pinto would be okay.
Yeah, Pinto's steel.
Aluminum's okay.
Can we get a picture of that close up of that big ass MFJ, that BFG MFJ, Josh?
Oh yeah, would you like to see the hotness that is the?
I've never seen it. Your meter's bigger than mine.
Yeah, Doug, I don't know what's going on, but every few minutes you're just your system echoes out, and I don't know if you're trying to talk, and if you are, there's no voice coming through, or if it's just echoing.
How am I now?
You're real low, but the noise behind you is quite high.
Oh, the camera's dead. Hold on.
I turned off my AC unit, which is right next to the computer.
Still some kind of weird noise in the background, like a hissing.
Yes, it's my 819 on HF.
Oh, okay. Well, I can hear that better than almost I can hear your voice.
There it is.
It's an old Dell that I'm not sure where the mic is. There it is. It's way away.
Okay, that's what
not
it
it.
is.
What's going on?
But it's sounding fine now.
Hey, Josh or Don. This brought something to my mind about my question earlier when I was talking about I got the vertical above the 2 meter beams and what was going on. I wonder if it has something to do with being on a non-conductive mast, that vertical. I might need to run a ground wire, ground strap back down to the metal mast below the rotator.
I've never had to do that.
I've
like
never tried
like with the vertical anyway. I don't know. I've got a vertical VHF UHF, and about 10 or 12 feet over, I have a horizontal beam, and I haven't had to do any of that kind of grounding or anything.
Is your vertical on a steel mast or is it on a non-conductive?
Carbon fiber.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I've only ever run it on a metal pole, and now it's on a plastic pole basically. So I didn't know. I just thought about that when you was talking about. We were talking about grounding and stuff.
Yeah, well, the reason I said carbon
There's
fiber.
a beer can in front of it.
Yeah, the reason I said carbon fiber is a lot of people think carbon fibers are conductive, and they are a little bit, but not enough to worry about. What?
Don, do you know how many comments I got on that J-pole video I did on carbon fiber? That's what's causing the... Ed Fong to not be as good as it should be, and the N9TAX, that should be better than the Ed Fong. It's that damn carbon fiber. And so I literally am going to make a video on testing carbon fiber versus fiberglass masts. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, there's a slight conductivity on them, but it's not
Sure.
enough that it affects
No,
anything.
yes, Don.
What it will
Yes,
affect,
yes, sir.
What
yes.
it will affect is it will affect ladder line. Do not run ladder line down a carbon fiber. But other than that, if you're about 3 to 4 inches away, it's fine. But just not right down the antenna. Other than that, everything I've mounted on those carbon fibers works beautifully. And I run in-fed half waves and all kinds of wire antennas right by them, and I've never had any SWR problems with them.
All I know is that people are way up their own butts about antenna adjacent things. And they are probably the same people that are not putting up any antennas.
Yeah, you watched that video that I made about my masts. Did you see how I mounted them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you like that?
Well, I saw the one where you had the fence that would close, the closure system. That was pretty good. That was pretty slick.
The fence for those big connectors on there.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I actually like just the stupid little ball things. And I've had those masts up for years just with those balls that I got, those ball bungee things that I got from Harbor Freight. No issue at all. And in fact, in the very first of the video, when you see that one that's leaning way over, all it's got is two of those ball things on it. And even though the winds were 65 miles an hour, that thing never came down. It just bent way over. So
can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're in there, bud.
Kind of.
Hey, Josh, thanks for the content.
Okay.
Thanks for training me about all your wisdom of flat Earth theory.
Yeah, I can talk to you for hours on that. If you want to go at somebody, I'll be at you, bud. I'll help you out.
We'll have a live stream about it.
Could we? Could we do that?
We should do.
We should probably do that on the. We should do that on your channel, not mine.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
If you lose a couple subscribers, no one's gonna feel it. If we do, that's another story. So
I don't know.
Special guest to the Church of the Latter-day Saints.
Be bold.
Wait. We got an LDS person talking. Hold on. Somebody say LDS.
That's why I said you could.
I got a comment about the guy.
Hold on. Let the guy, David. Go ahead, David.
I was just commenting that you could feature a special guest of the Church of the Latter-day Saints priest or something.
No, okay. So all right. So I'm really interested in religions. I've tested out a lot of religions. Church of Latter-day Saints don't believe in the flat Earth. They believe in the individual private planet that you will earn, or they don't have. They don't have the same concept of a grace-based system. It's more of an acts-based system versus Christianity with the blood of Christ, that whole thing. With LDS, there's an acts-based system, and then you could actually earn your own planet in the afterlife. So yes, there are people that believe that. That's not the same thing as a flat Earth, though. It is a round planet, a round thing, not flat, not flat.
That's the my Earth theory.
And then there's the holy underwear that they wear, and the fact that the reason they used to marry multiple wives
at the same
was
time
that when you got that planet, you would use those multiple wives then to populate the planet.
Wait a minute. One question on the my planet. Do I get to design the solar cycles and the atmosphere for better propagation?
Let's say yes. You got it. Yeah. Are you in?
Are you
in?
I'm in.
I'm in. He's converting. He's done. We're gonna baptize him. We're gonna send some.
Yeah.
We're gonna send some dudes fashionably dressed in button-down shirts on bikes to your house tomorrow. They'll be on their way.
If he gets to decide what the propagations be like, can I choose to make my Earth flat?
If you want, why not? Yeah, why not?
Well then, Josh, you just proved flat Earth theory. Thank you.
No, wait a minute.
No. You got to come back with actual evidence, not something that you signed your life away on. There has to be proof of concept.
Okay.
He
the
said
concept
that
was
their
the Earth,
religion
right?
says you can have your own planet. Can it be qualified as a planet if it's flat?
Well, how does anyone qualify anything after you die? That's the point of this whole thing, is that no one knows anything what happens after you die other than what you believe in. That's really all it comes down to.
I'm going to train with King Kai and Goku.
Oh, okay. Actually, that's okay. All right. You know what?
All right, I'm out. Good night, guys.
I am Wilson. Take it easy, man.
I got a question. If it's flat, is it Asgard?
Is it Asgard? It's probably not Asgard. But go ahead, ask your question.
Well, how does water get back on Asgard after it falls off the edge? That's always been curious about.
I don't know. I don't care.
You guys need to read
Oh, there it is.
Discworld
There it is.
novels.
There it is. Jody. God damn it, Jody. That's
It's just the tiers of the
UN
villages they
flag.
raided.
The UN flag versus the flat Earth. So literally, the flat earthers took the UN flag, which is a very, very horribly constructed map in a circular form of a map for that condensed landmass, and they made that their flag, and then they said the Antarctic wall goes around the whole thing, and then all the countries protect the Antarctic wall because they'd figure out that the Earth is flat.
Antarctica, Josh.
2, I guess 2.
Only
2 or
2.
3.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys
That's pretty
need
cool.
to,
I've never made any. So
y'all need to read the Discworld novels. It explains all of it.
That's it, man.
What are these?
Oh my God!
Oh yeah, this is fantasy novel, and it's an excellent fantasy series. It's written by Terry Pratchett, and it's a fantasy series. And it's first of all, it's hilarious as hell, and there's, by the way, there's some movies on Prime Video that were made with the using the Discworld novels as basis, and they're funny deals. They follow the books quite well, the 3 books that they did. But he's got like 40 books on this, and that silly picture that I was posting, that is the way Terry Pratchett describes Discworld, because it's literally a disc on top of the back of 4 elephants that are riding on a space turtle that is flying through space. And that's the way he describes it. And as he goes through the novels, they actually have deals where they're at the edge of the Discworld and they're looking over the edge of it's just again, it's funny. It's meant to be funny. It is not real. He's not saying any of that stuff is real. It's just a funny way of presenting things.
Sure.
I might give it a look.
That'll be a new religion.
Nah, that's been around. He's been writing those for 20 or 30 years. Nobody's ever been that interested. I mean, they're really good novels and they're funny, but nobody's going to make a religion out of it.
Yeah, you got to wait at least 150, 200 years before
it's not like it's not like those golden books that Joseph Smith pulled out of the ground. Now that's a fantasy.
Golden plates. Thank you. Thank you. Golden plates. Pay respect.
Have you ever
that he could only see by looking through a scrying stone?
Have you ever seen the South Park on the Mormons?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean that is absolutely everything that's in there that Terry anyway that they present. All of that stuff is actually things that they believe.
I'm not going to be. I mean, I'm already talking to my YouTube now. I'm not going to be like, there's only Mormons that I'm not in agreements with. I generally don't have any supernatural beliefs. Period. I don't believe in anything supernatural. Like, that's it. Like, show it to me. Prove it. That's what I want to see. That's it. Sorry.
Careful.
Speaking
And
of
the chat died.
Speaking of
Oh.
entertaining books, though, so this is like it's still science fiction and whatever, but it's written by a ham radio operator that I met at the Alabama Huntsville Ham Fest, and it's by Hans G. Schantz, I think you pronounce his name. You heard of that guy?
No.
So he's got like a series out. It's like 3 books, and a lot of it like kind of revolves around like ham radio and stuff. It's kind of like the first part of the beginning of the first book. The first book's called like The Hidden Truth. Like it's a little bit weird, It's a little bit more like it's like one of those. It's kind of out there, but it's entertaining. Like it's a really good read. I recommend it.
Yeah,
Everyone knows there's only one true God, and that's Cthulhu.
Cthulhu?
Cthulhu, you mean?
You mean Cthulhu?
I've had a couple, okay?
Okay, all right.
Okay.
He's drinking Yingling.
He was slaying a lot of
I'm actually
Yinglings.
drinking Chelada. I've been on a Chelada kick.
Like Bud Light Chelada?
No, it's like Modelo.
But a lot of them, I'm guessing, because they're mostly Clamato.
Oh, God.
Put a little tequila on them. Spices them.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm down. I'm down.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what they started distributing in Washington?
What?
Malort.
Oh, yeah.
My wife-
mean, proper Chicago alcohol.
Illinois has taken over.
Yeah,
My
Chicago.
wife bought me a bottle just because,
Those Chicago guys
had it
yell at
before.
me. Those Chicago guys yell at me all the time. I'm like, it tastes like No More Tears shampoo. It's not great. It's not great.
They
yell at everybody.
As bad as I thought it was going to be. It's not great, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, based on what people have said.
No, it's not. It's not like one. It's not like taking a shot of 151 or anything like that. It's very herbaceous and very bitter.
You ever had aquavit?
Pyramids.
God damn it, Molson! You can't just snipe a chat and not be talking.
He's disconnected from chat.
Yeah,
I guess he's listening on YouTube.
He can't snipe a text and think that I'll engage when he was in the voice. He could ask the question and then have a back and forth, but I'm not doing it for the lulz.
Have you ever heard of aquavit?
Aquavit, yeah, I've had it. Yep, many times.
Yeah, it's pretty much a Scandinavian thing for the most
It's
part.
very much like ouzo, if you've had that.
I have not.
For people that have had it, that's what it reminds me of.
All right, Josh, I'm here. You talk big. All right.
Okay, here we go.
Explain the pyramids. I want to hear your theory on how they were built.
A long time and leverage.
Yeah, and besides,
And
what's
lots of slaves.
what's more important is, when was the Sphinx actually built? At the same time as the pyramids, or thousands of years before it?
If any one of those things draws you to believe that it was a supernatural cause, then I don't agree.
No, what it draws me to believe is that there were things going on in that area of the world much, much, much earlier than when the pyramids were.
Cool. I'm down with that. But the point is that we're just humans at the end of the day. Like that's
you don't really know.
Like that's.
Oh, there's a lot of. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not asking to get all spiritual, and I'm
Yeah.
There's a lot of really cool documentaries about like how do they do it, leverage, and all that.
Yeah.
And the four corners are pointing in specific directions, really advanced, obviously, and so it's a constant sort of topic of discussion about how did they do that.
Well, the thing about that is, though, Daniel, honestly, that was built. If you go with this thing with the Sphinx thing, a lot of the engineering that went into the pyramids was really, really old technology by that time. And so they're just mimicking what they had learned from this culture that originally built the Sphinx. And actually, if you go to those places like Machu Picchu and stuff, Joe Rogan's talked about this, by the way. Go to those ones that are
On
like Machu
ketamine.
Picchu and stuff, where the stones are so tightly meshed together
Right.
that you can't even slide a piece of paper in them, and we can't even do that today. So there are millions of, or not millions, tens of thousands of years of development there that
So-
we can't account for.
So here's my general answer to, and Sean Weiland said, explain why, with a word I can't pronounce. Gobekli Tepe. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's go with that.
Gobekli Tepe.
Gobekli Tepe. Okay. So here's my answer. Natural reasons. Natural
Yes.
causes. Until you
Yeah, that-
until you until you disprove natural causes, which is what everyone that existed in our time and before our time has, I am unwilling to even start down the discussion of supernatural causes. Because guess
Right.
what? Guess what? Most likely, everything that you think is beyond human capacity of being able to do is just right in human capacity. Just they were that much more dedicated than you are, and they did it. That's all that says to me.
Saying
Well-
that the pyramids were supernatural.
A lot of people believe that. Wait. A lot of people believe it. A lot of people believe that. A lot of people believe that.
It's in some cases they don't believe that. They believe that that the humans that were there could not have engineered it to that level, and that so not that it was supernatural, but these are beings from like other planets that
Mhm.
showed up to help them do it. And the truth is, on like totally what you're saying, that if you go back and you look at something like that Gobekli Tepe or something like that, where it was built to that level, what we really are looking at there is how much technology that was present at that time that we lost and gained and lost and gained. And that's one of the reasons that, like, for instance, they talk about the pyramids 4,000 years ago. That was technology that we had regained from technology that we lost when the Sphinx was built, or Gobekli Tepe, or those things. So you go back. Nobody said humans didn't do it. Humans did do it, but the technology behind it that we think we're so superior on, we're probably not. We're probably reinventing things that they had back then, and technologies that they had. We're
Right.
just reinventing it.
Right. I guess the point of all this is, who was it? Buck. Problem is, no one can prove where our life force comes from or where it goes. I just assume it's a natural cause. It goes from wherever nature came from and wherever nature comes from. And that's it. Like that's all it is. And so that's literally why I'm out here all the time, pushing all the time to do something I'm passionate about, because I have one life and I want to be passionate about this one life, and I want to push forward all the things that I love, that I want other people to love, and I want them to enjoy it as much as I do. That's it. It's not
One of the
based
big
on it's not
problems-
based on a proof of afterlife or a proof of anything. It's based off of what I know right now that I can prove is actual. Is I prick my finger and I bleed. I know that I can live this life, and I'm pushing for people to enjoy life like I do with radio and do all those things. I know it's really heady what I just said, but it all comes back to radio, because ultimately I'm passionate about that most of all, and that's the most important thing to me.
Now explain to me, if you want to get to something that's supernatural, explain to me Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, it's
explain.
it's
Don't
GPS.
explain. Explain.
Yeah, it's GPS. It's GPS.
What
Or
about those
considering
UFOs
the world is flat,
that
he
rocket-
has like footage of?
that rocket disappeared at 2,000 feet, exactly where the anomaly was supposed to have been.
Yeah.
The problem we have, right, is that there is a lot of people out there that are really keen. If there's not a reasonable explanation for something, God did it. God of the gap. So it must be God. It must be some force that's beyond us. It has to be something else.
Well, that
instead of accepting, well, we haven't worked out what the actual explanation is yet.
2,000
By the
years
way,
ago, that was a convenient answer.
No, by the way, thank you for saying that so clearly. So this is where the null hypothesis has to enter into people's minds, particularly hams. Please, all hams, get on board with this concept. If you can't prove a positive or a negative, then your null hypothesis is, I just withhold belief in either direction until I have better proof to make me believe one way or the other. The null hypothesis is the concept that you don't have to side one way or the other, and anyone that forces you to side that way is, by in itself, an argumentative fallacy, because it's this binary concept of one must decide either way. You never have to decide. You could just withhold belief until you have relevant evidence to make you believe the thing you're believing in. And that's great. I love that. Believe it. But don't let anyone take that right from you, please. Anyone, please. There you go. I'm done.
And
so deep, so philosophical.
And the thing over Josh's shoulder is grid tracker. That's for somebody that asked.
Sean Weiland, thank you so much. It's okay to say I don't know. It is okay to say I don't know. I don't know. That's it. At some point,
and you know, for that matter, it's also okay to say that you're a Christian and that you and even if you think the Earth is flat, who really cares, right?
Well, at some point, I would ask you to prove your claims. Now, if you make no claims, if you make no claims and you live your life without making any positive statements, then I won't really say anything to you. But once you start like coming out here and saying like, oh yeah, let's all believe this one thing, it's like, okay, well now you have to prove your statements. But there's nothing wrong with asking for that. There's nothing wrong for asking for that.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with asking somebody that says, well, I don't believe in any of that. Well, explain to me how some things that you can't explain happens.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, that's not how it works. Because
that's absolutely not how it works.
The people that say that.
No,
if someone says to you that you know what?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
It's not worth getting into.
No, go ahead. I think it might help. Go ahead. Try.
Here's my question: If it doesn't matter to you, you don't believe in it one way or another, why are you threatened by people that claim that they believe it?
Sure.
And they're not trying to force anything on you.
Yeah.
Because not having belief, hold on. Not having belief is not a claim. If I don't believe you because you don't have enough evidence, I am not making a positive claim. You are. You are the one that is saying a God exists, right? Now, if I say, I don't accept that because you haven't provided enough evidence for me to believe that, like, that's a perfectly rational position to take.
Mm-hmm.
And people can still get on and don't have to argue about it, but it's when someone says, you have to believe what I believe because I believe it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but then here's what I'll say to that. Here's what I will say to that. My personal experience overrides anything that I'm going to have to tell you. So if I have personally experienced this thing and I believe it, I'm going to continue to believe it because of my personal experience. You may never believe me, and that's not something I can convince you to do. It's not something we as Christians are supposed to do. We are not supposed to force you to believe. But I've had personal experiences. I know what I believe. But I'm not going to force you to do the same.
No, and that's fine. But anecdotal experience is not.
My personal experience to me is not anecdotal.
No, it is.
No, it's not. See, now we're getting into an argument.
No, because
you're saying my personal experience is not. No, I'm not going to hold on.
Anecdotal experience to me
True to you, not to me.
Wait,
that's
Yep.
that's what
It's
I'm saying.
I can.
And this is why we just
wait,
give
wait,
people
wait.
the freedom to believe whatever they
No,
want to.
no,
because
I can.
Everybody comes from a different place.
I can probably simplify this. I can probably simplify this to a degree. Okay, so hear me out. I'll try the best of my ability. There are religious claims that make lines about belief in how things should go. And those beliefs often end up as bills that people vote on that are forced upon other people because of the democracy that we live in. And yes, it's a republic, but at the same time, when it comes to the people on the ground, it's a democracy. So we just went through one where, based off of religious beliefs, people were able to enforce their moral values